From San Diego, California, we welcome you to the of the Home Depot College Football on CBS. The Fighting Irish versus the Midshipmen of the United States Naval Academy. With John Striffen on the field, Rick Neuheisel, and the totally impartial and objective Aaron Taylor. We welcome you to San Diego, California. So for Notre Dame, that number 3 next to its name, they have this game in California at USC. And oh, by the way, Rick, the national championship game is in California, so the Irish fans are hoping this is the first of 3 trips.
Irish eyes would indeed be smiling. For Notre Dame, they are 7-0 for the second time in Brian Kelly's era as the head coach at Notre Dame. The last time, 2012, they played for the national championship. But Aaron, you can count their hands ringing a little bit because Navy has been a thorn in their side, and count on them to do it again tonight.
They beat them 2 years ago in 2016 down in Jacksonville. This Navy team is ready to play. Upsets start with belief, and the Brotherhood believes that they have the right to be on this field tonight. They're going to be ready to play. The question is, will Notre Dame?
Our Home Depot Do Project Smarter, and we open the book on the Home Depot Do Project Smarter with Mr. Book.
Open the book indeed. Ian Book has been a revelation. His ability to get everybody involved makes him the point guard of this offense. Here you can see him breaking contain, distributing, if you will, and keeping his eyes downfield, which gives a guy like Miles Boykin a chance to make the big play. On the other side of the ball, it's been an opportunistic defense. 3 times this year they had to take the field to stop the opponent from winning a game late. This against Michigan, which looms large right now in the playoff committee's eyes. Huge strip fumble.
It was huge, Rick, and this defense will be tested tonight because it's led by Malcolm Perry, a young man that started the season out as a quarterback. He was a slot back a year ago, but in the game against Houston, he threw, he caught, he ran, he did it all, but he went out right before halftime, and when he did, this offense went to a standstill. Perry is crucial tonight for their success.
For the Navy Midshipmen, anchors away. Here come the Irish. For Notre Dame, 5 games and 8,700 miles remaining in the regular season. It begins with Navy in San Diego. The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Napa, Aflac, Smile Direct Club, and by Chick-fil-A. For Notre Dame in 2018, they are 7-0 for the first time since they played for the title in 12. The biggest win remains over Michigan. Ranked number 3, and the head coach of the Irish, Brian Kelly, with John Striffen.
Well, Carter, thank you so much, Coach. You come into tonight undefeated, but the last 2 seasons, it has not been easy against Navy. What is it about this Navy team that gives you guys such a tough game?
Last 10 seasons for me. They're really good at what they do. Execute the triple option as well as anybody that we face. And they've got smart kids that, play hard for 4 quarters. So it's going to be a battle anytime you play Navy, and we know that.
Navy likes to use the clock. You're not going to get as many offensive possessions. How does that impact your game plan? Are you going to take more shots or be more conservative?
No, you got to have a sense of urgency. Every possession means something. Every snap means something. And then at the end of the day, you've got to execute offensively, and you got to score touchdowns. Field goals aren't going to get it done today.
Coach, should be a fun one. Good luck.
Thank you.
And for Navy coach Ken Niumatalolo, 4 straight losses. The last 2, they've blown double-digit leads, and Ken Niumatalolo in his 11th season says simply, this is not us. And yet there seemed to be a quiet confidence around Navy heading into this game as a huge underdog against number 3 Notre Dame.
I was interested when we spoke with defensive lineman Josh Webb. He was talking in the affirmative. Once we win this game, it's going to turn our season around. The brotherhood believes, but it's going to take more than belief to beat an Irish team that's playing at a really high level.
Navy won the toss, deferred, so Notre Dame will receive the opening kick. Golden Domers in the Golden State. Young takes it from the 1-yard line, and Michael Young across the 20 to the 23-yard line. So let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. It begins with Notre Dame quarterback Ian Book, the junior from El Dorado Hills, California, near Sacramento. He was considering Boise State, committed to Washington State. Former offensive coordinator Mike Sanford got him to visit South Bend. Ian told us this week the first time he saw a firefly was in front of the Golden Dome atop the main building. Summed up for Ian the magic of the place, and dare I say Ian is now creating some magic of his own. Complete on the outside to Boykin. Oh, first down, he lost the football. It is loose, and it's recovered by Navy on the first play from scrimmage. A takeaway by the Mids. Michael McMorris comes away with a football and a golden gift for Navy to begin.
The last thing you want to give a team that's 2-5 coming into this game is this kind of hope. Look for Navy to absolutely exploit this early opportunity.
It's the second lost fumble of the season for Notre Dame.
And it's a big one. This is the worst possible start that Notre Dame could have wanted. Credit that scrappy brotherhood believing to make a play on the first snap of the game.
Garrett Lewis at quarterback for Navy with the short field from the 36. 14 seconds in, it is Navy snapping it after the takeaway. Option toss. That's Malcolm Perry, and he is wrestled down. Gives us a chance to look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups on this side for Navy. Garrett Lewis, the senior from Buell, Alabama, Sipsey Valley High School, told us he, quote, basically grew up in the middle of the woods. His words. Got his first start at quarterback for Navy in last year's Notre Dame game. Mostly sat the first 5. Malcolm Perry starting. Now it is Lewis back at quarterback, Perry at slot back, Zach Abey, red zone situations, and they are knocking on the golden door of the red zone right now. Handoff, push back, that's Nelson Smith, and we're already in third down.
Garrett Lewis has all the intangibles that Navy needs at their quarterback spot. He's a decision maker. He played in a spread offense in high school in Alabama. He's learned all the reads, just as you read how coverages when you're throwing the ball, all the reads that go along with triple option. If there's one thing that he's missing is the ability to make longer runs. He is a less than 4 yards per carry. Juxtapose that against Keenan Reynolds just a few years. He was 5.2 yards. They need him to make more yards tonight.
Lewis on 3rd and 5. Option. There's the toss, and it's Perry again stretching. It's 4th down and 18. You know what Navy loves.
They love to go for it on 4th down. The key for this offense is to be able to string drives together. Look, they don't even try to come off the field. They know they're going for it, especially in a 4th and short situation. This is what Academy football brings, and these are the sort of situations Notre Dame has to win defensively.
Navy has run 2 triple options into the boundary, and the tackler has been Aloy Gilman, their former teammate, coming from the far side safety position.
Zach Abey's under center. They were perfect on 4th down a week ago versus Houston. 12 for 19 on the year. So here is Abey, still coming back from a leg injury on 4th and 2. Abey, keeper on the right side. He is stood up, and he appears to be short. Coney and Gilman combine on the stop.
He looks short to me, too.
We're going to bring the chains out, though. Going to take a look.
That's huge if this ends up being the way that we thought. Notre Dame basically getting that turnover back, Navy turning it over on downs. But that was disaster averted. The defense stiffening its neck when called upon to do so.
Notre Dame going for it on 4th down is just the usual occurrence, boys. In this game, the last 2 years, I say Navy going for it on 4th down. 4 for 6 last year, 4 for 5 in 2016. Not this time.
So Navy gets the takeaway on the first snap for Notre Dame, but they're unable to turn it into points thanks to the stiffening Irish D, Coney, and Gilman get the stop. They hand it back to Ian Book.
Adam Zucker in New York with this Zaxby's update. Crazy finish, number 12 Kentucky trailing Missouri by 5. As time expires, incomplete, questionable pass interference penalty against Missouri, so an untimed down. Terry Wilson to C.J. Conrad for the winner, 15-14. And now Kentucky hosts Georgia next week for first in the SEC East. Carter, Aaron, Rick, John, back to you.
Cat scratch fever, Rick. I should have given it to you with the lyrics. I mean, you're on it. So now look at the SEC East in Kentucky with the walk-off touchdown win on the untimed down. That was incredible.
Unbelievable finish, and just imagine what that crowd will look like in Lexington next week, getting to play for a chance at an SEC East title.
Kentucky is hoping to God that they're the underdog. They seem to rise to the occasion when nobody gives them a shot.
Notre Dame only offensive snap, the second lost fumble of the year for the Irish. So on the ground and a very short gain for Dexter Williams. Take a look at Rick's report on Ian Book.
Ian Book has been terrific since having been inserted into the starting lineup. They went for over 500 yards in each of his first 2 starts. He's athletic enough to do all the quarterback run game, but he has kept everybody involved in the throw game.
Williams left side, keeping it on the ground. Williams has a first down. Second effort, he pushes across the 40. Sean Williams finally makes the stop.
A key coming into tonight was Notre Dame wanting to be able to establish the run. If this team is going to be serious about a national championship push, it has to do what they just did on that last play more consistently.
And ATU called it to me before this drive. Think we'll see the ball on the ground.
I'm surprised they threw on first down there.
First and 10. Here's Williams trying to bounce it outside. Finds the edge across the 50. Williams goes rolling and he's shoved out by Jared Ryan all the way down at the 27.
Dexter Williams certainly likes to hit that outside edge to the left of the offensive line and create explosive plays. Remember that 97-yarder he had against Virginia Tech. But this is an explosive play. Notre Dame has to be careful about how explosive it wants to be because clock management is going to be huge when you're playing against Navy.
After a 33-yard gain, here's Book on the roll. Throws complete to the outside, inside the 20. It'll be another Notre Dame first down. Claypool makes the grab. AT, take us through the offensive starters for Notre Dame.
I really thought if this team had an area to grow, it was running the football. So keep your eye tonight on left guard Aaron Banks. He's one of the beneficiaries of the recent bye week. The coaches are excited about his physicality that the 6'6", 319-pound sophomore brings to the table.
Stoppage here. I believe that was an
officials timeout. Fix the chains.
Good explanation. Thank you. Referee Jeff Hezzer.
On that pass there by Ian Book, he started with his eyes to the left side of the field and then worked his way all the way back to his receiver on the far sideline. When you have that much peripheral ability at quarterback, the field really does become 53 to 30 yards wide, Aaron.
He does a great job of going through his read progressions, often finding the check down receiver to be able to move the chains, and if there's nothing there, he's not afraid to run it either.
On first and 10. Here's a handoff inside the 15, and that's a big handoff for Notre Dame because it is Jafar Armstrong. Welcome back, the Fighting Irish Armstrong. 7 TDs in his first 4 games before a knee injury, and talk about bolstering the running game.
The bye week came at the perfect time for the Irish. Jafar Armstrong, Aaron Banks, all of these are going to help this run game.
Second down to the red zone. Book to Armstrong. Waiting for a block on the edge. Pushes inside the 5. First and goal, Notre Dame.
Fellas, that was just a glorified sweep. In the old days, we used to toss it to him. This was just basically a bubble screen with blockers out in front. Well handled by the Irish.
There's no question that Notre Dame has more athleticism on the perimeter. How they use that is going to be key to what it is they accomplish.
First and goal, pushing just short of the goal line. It's Armstrong again, but he is marked down. They're celebrating, but it's second down. Hudson Sullivan on the stop.
Rick, I don't want to overthink this, but that almost helps them in the sense that it takes time off the clock. I don't want to over-dramatize time of possession, but honestly, the more time that Notre Dame offensively can take off the clock, the more it will help their defense.
Couldn't agree more.
On 2nd and goal, give it to Armstrong. This time he is in. Touchdown, Notre Dame on the ground. Jafar Armstrong back for the Irish, back in the end zone.
A couple of things on that drive, fellas. We saw Notre Dame get outside, outflank Navy, and look faster than Navy. And then down in the short zone there, the black zone, when they're scoring, they showed power.
Look at that movement at the point of attack. That's what you should expect when you look at the depth chart. What Notre Dame brings to the offensive line compared to what Navy has defensively, that's what you should expect to see. This Navy defense, been okay against the run, but they're going to have to bow their necks a little bit more than they've done this afternoon.
Jonathan Dorr on for the PAT, and he missed it. Justin Yoon still with a nagging groin injury, so Yoon is unable to kick, at least so far. You bring on Dorer. That is his first placement kick since high school at South Mecklenburg in Charlotte. So the Notre Dame D gets it. The offense into the end zone, but Dorer's PAT is no good, and it's 6-0 in San Diego. Notre Dame's all-time leading scorer, Justin Yoon, still nursing a groin injury, so he is unable to kick. Jonathan Dorr, who's been the kickoff specialist last 2 years, has to handle placements. Misses his first attempt. For a brighter injury update for the Irish, here's John Schriffen.
Well, when we spoke to Brian Kelly this week, he said he's not usually surprised. He was genuinely surprised when he saw Jafar Armstrong in practice on Monday, practicing for the first time in a month since coming back from a surgery on his knee because his knee got infected. He said he put a GPS on Armstrong and he averaged around 19 miles per hour in practice. He said he usually averages just about low 20 miles per hour. So he said he was very close to what he looks like regularly if he had been playing the whole time. He was shocked. He's concerned about if the knee gets banged tonight, but as you can see, he's ready to go.
Yes, indeed, and proved it there. So, Rick, how nervous are you when you had a fumble and a missed PAT 5.5 minutes into the game?
Well, you're just trying to make sure everything gets centered. You want to make sure that your team's focused, locked in. Obviously, looking at the scoreboard, you like being ahead, but there's certainly a lot of things that can be kind of ironed out right now on that sideline.
And, Aaron, that leads us right into your keys to the game.
Well, we were talking about how do you upset number 3 to Coach Ken Niumatalolo, and he said it's simple. We have to hit 70% from the three-point line, and Notre Dame needs to miss some layups. Well, to our point, the fumble on the first play of the game and the missed PAT are 2 layups that Notre Dame has already missed.
And now here's Lewis dropping. Lewis is going to scramble now on 1st and 10. It was a fair catch, touchback to the 25, and just a couple of yards for Lewis as we take a look at the Navy offensive starters.
Well, Zach Abey's been banged up this year, but they still call him Wolverine because he's a tough, gutsy, unselfish competitor. He's starting tonight as a wide receiver, but we already saw him on that 4th down and short yardage. He is a guy in short yardage and goal line situations that leads the charge, and Navy is as good as there is in the country down in the red zone.
Lewis under center has Taj Malloy with him in the backfield. Malloy motions. Here's the toss. Malloy has it on the edge, trying to find the corner. Shoots past the 30. Elliott shoves him out. We'll see where they mark him. He has a 1st down for the Mids.
Speed option here, just using the field, getting an arc blocker out in front of the action, and they take care of the contained defender right there, Aaron.
They certainly do, and you see running from behind is Drew Tranquil, who was a rover in this game last year and did a nice job, had 8 tackles. Notre Dame defensively wants to flatten out this defense, which means make it run sideline to sideline, but they have to do a better job containing than they did on that last one.
Well, the second effort by Malloy to get the gain of 10. Lewis, fullback dive. Nelson Smith pushes across the 40. Let's take a look at the stout Notre Dame defense.
Well, the key for Notre Dame tonight is to play that triple option from the inside out, the dive, the keep, and the pitch. So keep your eye on senior linebacker Tavon Coney. He's athletic, tough, and competitive, and he plays sideline to sideline. Had 10 tackles against Navy last year in South Bend, and he and the rest of the Irish defenders are going to have to play with tremendous eye discipline tonight against an offense that forces you to be wrong.
And we have a major concern for Notre Dame. Drew Tranquil is down again. ACL tears in 2014, 2015. and the Notre Dame training staff tends to Drew Tranquil. We step aside. Want your sports news and highlights straight without the noise? Stream CBS Sports HQ, the all-new 24/7 sports news network, available on your phone, computer, and connected TV device. CBS Sports HQ, sports for true fans. The comeback story of Drew Tranquil from multiple knee injuries has inspired many well beyond South Bend, and that's why this is especially disturbing to see.
You see, he just gets rolled up there by an offensive lineman, the right guard, Chris Giselle. And you see him limp off. The fifth-year senior is such a playmaker for this defense and brings a ton of leadership.
Positive he was able to walk off under his own power.
Drew White, the sophomore from Boca Raton, Florida, is in at linebacker in place of Tranquil. After the injury timeout, 2nd and 4. Garrett Lewis and Navy. Lewis, keeper on 2nd and 4, and he pays the price as Alohi Gilman, the former Navy midshipman, lays the lick on Garrett Lewis.
Talking with defensive coordinator Clark Lee. So what I love about Alohi is that he brings toughness and a swagger. He positively influences the rest of the defense. Look at that, just shaking the blocker and just driving for 5, getting his head down, wrapping up, and a nice tackle towards the line of scrimmage. You have to be active as a safety against this offense.
3rd and 2 from the 45. It is 4-down territory already for Navy. We know that even when you cross the 40-yard line, your own 40. So 3rd and 2. Here's Lewis. That's a toss. Malloy on the edge. He is driven back. Stood up below and Drew White there to force 4th down. And AT Kenny Amatalolo says that early look at the push on both sides will determine.
That's certainly right, and he elects to go ahead and punt here, but great job filling backside by Jalen Elliott. He went with the B-back in motion, took a terrific angle, and made a huge stop on 3rd down to force the punt.
That's that backside safety we were talking about on his horse, Aaron, to get there to stop that potential 1st down run.
And so Kenny Amatalolo's early judgment is 4th and 3. That's too much. Punted away. Owen White, it is out of bounds. Fink lets it bounce. And so Notre Dame with a 6-0 lead early. It's the football back. Taking place since 1997, Fleet Week San Diego celebrates the men and women of the military through public events that entertain, support, and thank these heroes. Military ship tours open to the public this weekend at Broadway Pier, including the USS Harper's Ferry, the lead ship of her class. Dog of the United States Navy. Aaron, you call this place home, and the pride around San Diego, especially for the United States Navy, one of the reasons you're seeing Notre Dame versus Navy west of the Mississippi for the first time.
It's undeniable, it's inescapable, and it's one of the great things about America's finest city.
Got Dexter Williams in the backfield with Ian Book. 1st and 10. Book to the air again, to the outside. That is complete. It's Claypool, and he's pushing, fighting, and stretching. And Claypool has some extra yards, 1st down and more.
Chase Claypool's a big load of laundry, Rick. He's 6'4", 227 pounds. This is just a simple pitch and catch, and he's dragging Navy defenders well after he makes that catch, takes 3 of them to get him down, and still picks up an extra 5 yards.
2nd grab, here's Book stepping up, eluding the pressure. Now it comes from behind, and so Ian Book takes off with a good block on the edge. Ian Book using his feet again. I haven't seen a whole lot of that lately, but he's capable.
Great job that time by the running back Dexter Williams. But defensively tonight for Navy, keep your eye on nose tackle Jackson Pittman. I'm expecting Notre Dame to continue to try to be able to run the football. Jackson Pittman's the 5th on the team in tackles. Defensive coordinator Dale Pearson told us by the time he leaves Annapolis, this guy could be one of the better nose tackles we've had. He's got to be big tonight.
From the 50, Ian Book over the middle. That's complete again, and room to run. Inside the 30, inside the 15-yard line for Kevin Austin. Just his 5th catch as a member of the Fighting Irish, the freshman from Fort Lauderdale. This one goes for 38.
Just another example of the speed advantage that Notre Dame has tonight. Chip Long loves the shallow cross. This on the backside of the pattern. Ian Book doesn't see what he wants up front, comes to the cross, and Kevin does the rest.
Book is perfect in the game, and Notre Dame is into the end zone again. Dexter Williams takes it in for 6.
Dexter Williams, 370 yards in just the 3 games he's been available. What a difference he has made for Notre Dame's offense.
Certainly giving them some spark and some juice, and this is the sort of mixed, balanced run game with nice passing and receivers out on the outside making plays. This is the sort of drive that Notre Dame needs and wants to have. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far early on with this new changes up on front on the offensive line.
Opportunity number 2 for Jonathan Dorr, the sophomore from Charlotte, and this one is good. Sneaks in, so 7, and Dorr has the PAT.
This time he's looking forward to going back to the sideline.
A 4-play drive, 80 yards, the shortest gain of the drive for Notre Dame, a 12-yard touchdown run for Dexter Williams. 7 this time for the Irish. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans brings you today's Scholar Athletes for Navy. Andrew Wood, Operations Research at a 3.60 GPA. For Notre Dame, Drew Tranquil. He has already earned his degree in mechanical engineering. You go back to his first start, all the way back in 2014, it was versus Navy. Then the ACL tears in both 14 and 15. Both knees. It has been one of the inspiring stories of college football. Drew Tranquil's return through all of those injuries. And for more on Drew Tranquil, here's John Schriffel.
Into the medical tent. He was there for about 6 minutes, and they decided to take him off on a cart into the locker room where he's going to get looked at further. No word on the exact injury, but it doesn't look good to see Drew Tranquil back out here the rest of this game. Guys.
It's just heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. He's a great story and a great testament to what it means to get your degree from Notre Dame. Really takes his body and recovery seriously. This is a huge blow to him and this defense.
Garrett Lewis turns. Lewis, very little again, Rick, for Garrett Lewis.
Absolutely critical drive here for Navy to get themselves back in the game, change the field position, give themselves some measure of confidence going forward, down now 2 scores. The quarterback position is the focal point, obviously, when you're in triple option offense, but he's got to get some yards at that position. Right now, Garrett Lewis, 3 carries for about 6 yards. That's not going to get it done if they're going to stay with the Fighting Irish.
Inconsistency at that quarterback position's plagued them all season long as we take a look at the ball control. And pretty balanced thus far through this first quarter.
Which means advantage Notre Dame that Navy's not playing effective keep away. Here's a toss as Walker on the edge, and he is ridden out of bounds. The senior from Texas High School in Texarkana, Trey Walker.
Clark Lee, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, has been given the charge, get us 11 drives. Get us 11 drives in this game. That hasn't happened in either of the last 2 contests, Aaron. They're off to a great start to provide that to the offense tonight.
You're absolutely right, Rick. In that 2016 upset in Jacksonville, Notre Dame had 6 possessions the entire game.
Boy, did we enjoy Clark Lee's stories about Rick Neuheisel this week, didn't we?
We don't have time for those now.
Lewis on 3rd and 2. They take it all the way down to 2 before they snap it, trying to run the clock and run the football. Here goes Malloy across the 50. He lost the football. Navy appears to be back on top. That may be the play of the day by Michael Cooper, getting back on top of the football for the Mids.
We made the point about that backside safety getting over there in the alley. Here, Jalen Elliott is on his horse again, but he overruns him. Great job. Great job by Taz Malloy to just get back inside of him and get the big gain for the midshipman.
Showed some athleticism there, putting his foot in the ground, getting north and south, didn't he?
Absolutely.
And now Lewis on 1st and 10. Here's a drop, and he is crushed on the sack. He is dropped by Julian Okwara, the junior from Charlotte. A rare opportunity to get after the passer.
This guy was second on the pass rush team last spring, has done an excellent job working his way up the depth chart, and has been ferocious in the backfield these last 3 weeks. He has been a playmaker that's come on like spades this season.
And this is exactly what Clark Lee needs. He needs some down consolations. Clark Lee, the defensive coordinator, said you can't just let him get you 3-4 yards and keep going down the field matriculating in that fashion. You're going to end up not getting your offense enough opportunities. A great stop right there.
That's good Hank Stram right there with the matriculating down the field.
Everybody knows matriculating.
So the first time you go to pass, you get the sack, and now...
Ball start, offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty.
Guys, I can just hear Kenny Niumatalolo talking to us over the week saying we're not right. This is not Navy football. First of all, Ivan Jasper trying that play action pass from that far out in the field is not characteristic. They're normally going to plod their way down into the fringe area, maybe around the 30-yard line before they take those play action shots. This kind of undisciplined line of scrimmage play also is uncharacteristic of the midshipmen.
This is a team that has to play in front of the chains and ahead on the scoreboard, and they're doing the opposite here in the first half.
Back to the minus side of the 50, handoff to Martin. He is shoved back. He got 3rd and long.
And I don't know if I liked going back to what you were saying, Rick, on the first down throw. Yeah, it's a tendency breaker, but you're playing against a defense that has proven it can get after the quarterback. This offensive line, based on the stances that they're in with their inside hand down on the ground, being in basically 4-point stances, it's virtually impossible to pass block. But they're struggling to be able to run the football effectively, particularly at the quarterback position. So they're trying to figure out what they can do to move the football effectively against Notre Dame.
So Ivan Jasper there, very happy to report Jaron Jasper, the youngest son of the Navy offensive coordinator, doing very well. On 3rd and 16, Lewis is chased. Lewis tosses. It is incomplete, intended for Aby. So that is the first pass of the game for Navy. First time they attempted it, took the sack. That sent you into 3rd and long, forces you to pass there.
And this is back-to-back drives where Notre Dame defensively has forced Navy to punt the football away. Nowhere to throw. You got pressure breathing down you on the backside.
3rd and 16, it's no surprise you're throwing a pass.
They know it's coming.
They know it's coming.
Fink is back. Owen White hits it at the 38. Fink calls for the fair catch, grabs it at the 10. Touchdowns the last 2 times Notre Dame has had it. Trying to wake up the echoes all the way out, California. Tomorrow, meet the whistleblower who copied hundreds of incriminating documents from a bishop's secret archive. Find out what's in them. Plus, who is Yap? See and hear him only on 60 Minutes tomorrow. Ian Book finished 10 for 10 in Notre Dame's last game versus Pitt. He is off to a 5 for 5 start. That's some pretty easy math. 15 straight completions. Second longest streak in Notre Dame history.
Great vision, great ability to get from one receiver to another, and obviously great protection, Aaron.
Always starts up front, Rick.
Armstrong on the left side. He is pushed back by Taylor Heflin, the senior from Jessup, Georgia. Second leading tackler for Navy.
Yeah, I like Taylor Heflin. This kid's tough as nails. Durability's been an issue with him. He missed the Air Force game, but he had some big stops and some big plays. He's somebody that's a second leading tackler on this team. This defense funnels it to their linebackers. Not surprised that he's starting to show up here early.
Waning seconds of the first quarter, other than the fumble to start. Perfect for the Notre Dame offense. That is Armstrong shoved back by Taylor Heflin again. He had a fumble recovery versus the Irish last year on a crisp big fumble, and he has forced Notre Dame into 3rd and 8. See if the Irish want to snap it before the end of the first quarter. And so for Notre Dame, you start with a fumble and a missed PAT, and yet at the end of one in San Diego, Notre Dame 13, Navy nothing. The Brigade of Midshipmen hoping for more success in the second quarter. Navy's down 13-0. Let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac trivia question. 92nd consecutive meeting between these two outside of South Bend and Baltimore. What city has hosted Notre Dame versus Navy the most? It is not Annapolis. They've never played in Annapolis. First play of the second quarter, Rick, the first third down that Notre Dame has faced.
Unbelievable. But what we know, they're going to be more athletic. They're going to be more powerful.
They've had only 4 second down plays. And Book on third down, the first incompletion thrown by Book. So a boost for Navy as the defense gets a 3 and out.
And what's allowed Chip Long to be flexible offensively and use his whole playbook is the fact that the defense is corralling Navy's offense. You don't have to worry about just plodding out there and taking up time of possession when you're able to get the ball back as often as they were in the first down. That's not been the case the last few years, Aaron.
It certainly hasn't been, and a great job by the midshipmen defensively to flip this field.
Newsom to punt, handles the snap, gets it off near the 3. So Springer is back here with it, bounce at the 50, and Navy will get it on the plus side of the 50. A takeaway by Navy's defense. They get a 3 and out, setting up their offense. But the Notre Dame defense has been terrific.
They've been flying all over the field, doing a great job of getting Navy to punt on back-to-back possessions. Alohi Gilman stepping up, making plays. The defense really flattening out that backside safety, Jalen Elliott, that time making plays, and then that ferocious pass rush, Julian Aguara coming from the backside. Notre Dame defensively has to be making Clark Lee pretty happy. He's done a great job calling, and they've been executing.
He looked really happy.
Oh,
there,
yeah. After the 34-yard punt, it's Lewis to Malcolm Perry. All right, here we go. The 2009 UCLA coaching staff. Clark was a grad assistant, and I know you had eyes on them in his future career.
Just about the same hairdos right there, too, fellas. Listen, Clark Lee came to me as kind of a grad assistant. I elevated him to full-time coach because he was so good, so organized. I even elevated him to my defensive coordinator. I did it a little secretly because we were at the end of the year and I needed more productivity out of our defense. Outstanding young coach.
Well, the secret is out now. Lewis is dropped as Clark Lee's defense. Jerry Tillery gets the stop. They have come prepared and ready to play against the Navy option.
Jerry Tillery has been a playmaker all season long. He's going to be on the right. They're going to go inside and just stunt inside in the quickness. The backside offensive lineman can't get a chance to be able to get on him. And Garrett Lewis has no chance to be able to make a read or a play because of the upfield burst by Old 99.
We talked to Kenny Niumatalolo last week about playing against a premier defensive lineman. Remember, they had Ed Oliver from Houston last week. He said, sometimes you read him, but sometimes you just got to friggin' find a way to block him.
I would say Oliver's premier. And now Lewis dropping on 3rd and 11, flings it complete, but nowhere near the first down. And nowhere near an opportunity for 4th and short as well. But, I mean, for right now, Lewis and the offense is on the field in no man's land-ish for Navy.
They've got to do something to try and jumpstart this offense. Maybe you can try and hard count them here, Rick, to get 5 of these yards back to maybe get a more makeable 4th down situation here. But they're down 2 scores here. They've got to get something going.
This is anything but the recipe they want.
Yeah, they're trying to hard count them to get them off sides, to get those 5 yards back. They'll probably call a timeout here and
or
maybe
take
punt
the
this
delay.
away.
Take the delay. They don't need the 5 yards here for the punt.
So the Irish hold their water on defense.
4th down.
Now you expect to see Owen White in the punting unit come out. So you get a 3 and out on the plus side of the 50 for Navy, and you're in reverse again offensively.
It bears mentioning the Irish had a bye in anticipation of this game. It always is a huge plus when you get extra time to get everything ironed out to take on triple option football. It isn't always the case when these two teams get together. Obviously, it's playing to their advantage tonight.
Owen White's punts. Out of bounds, and it is going to be a short punt. That's a short punt for Notre Dame, and now a short one for Navy. Last one was 34. Let's see where they marked this one out of bounds. All the way to the 32-yard line. Golden Domers in the Golden State, a 13-0 lead. They get the football back after a 19-yard punt. Tuesday on CBS. These are the good guys the bad guys fear most. Catch a new FBI Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS. With our producer, Scott Brandwine, director Mark Grant, our booth crew, Wade Robinson, John Tobias, Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Rick Neuheisel, John Schriffen, and even though a couple early mistakes by Notre Dame, it's all Irish right now in a 13-0 lead.
And it allows for Chip Long, the offensive coordinator, to open up the playbook. The way they're corralling Navy's triple option attack gives them more things to do offensively.
Look with Dexter Williams in the backfield. Off play action. That is complete to one of the many dangerous tight ends for Notre Dame. It's Cole Kmet, the sophomore. Makes his 8th catch of the year, but minimal gain there on first down.
Nice job by Navy that time reacting just on a bootleg. Gets outside of the contain. Puts the ball on his tight end, Kmet, but he just can't get anything going vertically because the pursuit was there.
Sullivan and Nash combine on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Book flings it to the outside again. This is caught. Michael Young has it. Michael Young. He had the only fumble of the year for Notre Dame. Then Boykin had it on the first play from scrimmage. We haven't seen Miles Boykin since, as you would expect.
Great run fake inside, one-on-one outside. Young does a nice job coming to a stop, makes the secure catch, gets north and south. Easy pitch and catch.
Yeah, they're giving them a lot of room out there. They'll take that underneath free money all day long.
Looking to handle. Dexter Williams lost the football. Williams appears to get back on top of it. Narrowly avoiding another turnover. It is Notre Dame football. They had lost only one on the season. First play fumble. Williams puts it on the ground, able to get it back.
Aaron banks his leg. He goes a little high when he's trying to pull out, and he basically leg whips Dexter Williams, his teammate, to force that fumble.
Pretty remarkable play by Williams to get back on the football.
Another lucky break
for the Irish. Urgency.
2nd and 13. Book pulls it, tosses it. And this is Mack, and he is upended by Sean Williams, the senior from Memphis. He's a converted corner, 2nd-year starter at safety.
Really been impressed with Sean Williams. He's a physical, sure tackler. Last week versus Houston, they struggled tackling, but that was a beautiful job in the open field against an extremely athletic Alize Mack.
Both of these teams are fantastic open field tacklers.
Only 1 3rd-down conversion in the game, in part because Notre Dame's had such good success on 1st and 2nd down.
13 yards on first down they've averaged tonight.
There's 3rd down. It's a completion, but it's short of the first down.
Interesting decision here. You've got a 2-score lead. Do you want to go ahead and go for it on 4th and 2? I would imagine they will.
Of course, when your defense is playing the way that it is and keeping that offense in check, I think you have a little bit more confidence and can take some more chances offensively. Rick, Notre Dame again.
I look for an RPO here. You're gonna. I see the ball going into the belly of the running back, and look for quarterback run right here as well.
Feed the interior offensive line.
Toss it instead to the outside, and Claypool easily has a first down for the Irish. Farrar forces him out. Chase Claypool, who is slow getting up, but Claypool converts on 4th down, a gain of 14.
Nice call there, Rick. They must have a lot of confidence in their young quarterback.
Well, he just knows what he's doing when he puts the ball in. He's got great eyes. The ball comes out of his hand quickly. This is also the fringe area where they might take a shot.
And you factor into this as well. In the kicking game, you don't have Yoon. Doran. Book over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Armstrong, and he had him down the seam.
He certainly did. He broke free behind the second level defenders there for Navy. The ball was just a little bit inside and a little bit behind, and it was hard for Armstrong to be able to readjust. At the very end, Sullivan gets that hand on him and just loses his footing, or that would have been 6.
Gonna hand it off again. And it is Armstrong with the carry. You're into 3rd down. We mentioned that kicker situation with Yoon unable to kick as of yet today because of the groin injury. Dorr has a missed PAT. That all factors in here in the red zone extended.
The single receiver side into the boundary is being exploited because Navy's giving so much ground into that particular area. If they come up and play, look for a shallow crosser or some sort of levels route out here to the field as they line up with 3 receivers to the left.
Brady getting beaten over the top.
On 3rd and 7, this is Williams. Shaking his way out of the first tackle. Williams inside the 25. It will be 4th down from the 24. You have Heflin down right now for Navy. It is not Heflin's. Well, we'll check who's down for Navy right now, but it is 4th down coming up.
The expectation would be to go for it again now with your kicker down, right?
It's Josh Webb who is down for Navy, and this is Webb. We visited with him this week, a senior from Plano, Texas.
There he is in pursuit right there, and looks like he had some helmet-to-helmet contact there with his teammate Hudson Sullivan. Hard to see what happened, though.
As the Navy training staff tends to Josh Webb, we step aside.
Welcome back here to San Diego as Notre Dame leads Navy 13-0. And update you on Josh Webb. He got hit in the head. It was friendly fire. He just walked off on his own power into the locker room. He's going to take further evaluation. But this is a big game for Josh Webb. He told us the importance of playing here in front of this crowd in San Diego because this is the biggest naval fleet in America. He told us soon this is like a job interview because he's going to be working side by side with many of these people in the stands. That's why he wanted to have such a big game and show the fans what kind of character this team has. Guys.
Thank you, John. And with Josh headed to the locker room, you have 4th and 3, and Ian Book and the Notre Dame offense is out there. 2nd, 4th down of this drive. Book zips it, and it is caught complete. Chris Fink, Notre Dame goes 2 for 2 on 4th down on the drive.
Little inside slant right there. Great job by the receiver getting across the face of the defender, making sure that he gives Book a target.
And the motion pulled the safety over outside the hash, which opened up that space a little bit more.
In the red zone, Book fakes the handoff, tosses to the outside. It's Claypool who makes the grab again. And the question about whether Jonathan Dorr would be trusted at this point as the kicker because the groin injury to Justin Yu and the missed PAT. Clearly, Brian Kelly says red zone, we're still going for it.
That was a nice play by the Navy corner, Micah Farrar, right there. He saw that the number 2 receiver ran a quick out, which made him jump up and take the flat.
Book fakes it, tosses. That is Komet. And he is inside the 9-yard line. Sean Williams and Taylor Heflin, 3rd down coming.
Really impressed by Navy tackling in the open field. They struggled mightily last week against Houston, but Sean Williams and the rest of those DBs doing a nice job in open space when they got to get guys on the ground.
On 3rd and 2, it is Williams fighting. He has a 1st down, stretching. He has the end zone again. Dexter Williams.
That's just old-fashioned 1-2 right there. Excellent effort getting to the pylon.
Williams, who fumbled, got it back to keep this drive going for Notre Dame. A pair of 4th down conversions. 13 plays, Williams into the end zone.
He runs with so much power. The offensive line taking over in the line of scrimmage. What they couldn't finish, he certainly was happy to do. Notre Dame looking good offensively here in the middle of the 2nd quarter.
Dorr on for the PAT. One miss, one lead. This one is easily good. Well, we said Notre Dame needed 5 possessions to establish things in the first half. Already 5 possessions. Oh, you can't be fun at the old ballpark, huh? Formerly the Murph and Qualcomm, now SDCCU Stadium, playing host to Navy versus Notre Dame. Our Aflac trivia question answer. Other than South Bend and Baltimore, what city has hosted Notre Dame versus Navy the most? And the answer is Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Did you have that?
I actually got this one right.
You did?
I
okay.
did.
From the get-go?
From the get-go.
We do not take a look at the answers prior to you seeing them. So the game has never been played in Annapolis in 2 years. It will be played in Ireland again. So Dublin, Ireland in 2020 when Navy has the host in this series.
Kenny Niumatalolo talked about how important this game is to their recruiting, right? Obviously, the Army game is lofty when you're talking about a midshipman football player, but when they're recruiting against the other academies for a kid, this Navy Notre Dame series is a big feather in their cap as they try to get a guy to come to Annapolis.
Touchback, Navy has it at the 25. Monday on The Late Show, Colbert's All New with Kerry Washington. Then later this week, catch Mike Myers, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Billy Eichner. All new this week on CBS. It's my 15th birthday, Navy fan, and down 20-0. So AT, I think a birthday present of an incredible 75-yard drive, that would be the goal.
That would certainly be the goal. They've got to do something to get themselves back in the ballgame. Points of any sort are crucial here.
Lewis, handoff, that's Martin, just a couple.
Here's the problem. Navy cannot threaten with the first part of the triple option with the dive. This Notre Dame defensive line is too good. They also can't threaten with Garrett Lewis running the second part of that, which is the quarterback keeper, Rick.
This offense is not built to fall behind. Obviously, it's a sustained ball possession type of offense. They cannot get impatient now. We saw that impatience cost them as they went for the big play at midfield earlier in the game. They have to find a way to get the quarterback legs involved in this game.
Trying to get it involved here. Lewis. And that is how the involvement works out. You're in third and long, especially for Navy, you're in third and long again.
You know, I talked to Clark Lee before the game. What's the plan? Because this had been such a bugaboo for them over the last couple of years, and he came with Mike Elko last year in a game that went 24-17 with Navy driving late. He said, we have to use our speed defensively and extend these plays. Make the quarterback hold the ball a little longer. All these quick reads, that's what they practice on a daily basis. We have to make them hold the ball longer and let our speed and athleticism catch them up.
I mean, you have to eliminate the bugaboos. That is a fundamental. Martin, short gain, fourth down, not in a position here for Navy again.
And here you are, decision time again. They're going to elect to punt this away, but they have got to get something going offensively. As you see the wholesale change there, Notre Dame fully expecting defensively that Navy was going to go for it. The punt return team running on late, shocked that Navy didn't try to go for this, and quite frankly, I am as well. What do you have to lose at this point?
And Owen White's last punt was just 19 yards for Navy. So White hits this one at the 20. They will have to back up. He got into this one. Fair catch called for, has it at the 15-yard line. So little redemption in the punt game for Owen White. 54 yards this time.
Adam Zucker in New York coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Houston, BJ, and I'll get you caught up on today's action, including Georgia dominating down the stretch against Florida. Jake Fromm, 3 touchdowns, all on third down. Georgia at Kentucky next week for first in the SEC East. Back to San Diego.
Maybe the major point of emphasis for Brian Kelly from the bye week was getting the running game going, and Dexter Williams with a little extra muscle up front, mission accomplished thus far.
I think the addition of Ian Book to this offense, and when Dexter Williams finally came back, this is when Notre Dame started to hum. Speed to the outside, then an ability here to run with power. A lot of missed tackles for Navy defensively tonight, but he's making those guys miss those tackles with great balance and speed to get across the goal line.
Even with the best run blocking, Aaron, though, we got to leave one for the running back, and Dexter Williams is making that one, if not more, miss.
Take a look at these first 5 possessions for Notre Dame after that first fumble. 3 out of the last 4 resulted in a touchdown.
Book, play action, and here's a deep shot in the pass game, and it is caught. It's Jafar Armstrong who takes a tumble on the sideline. But Armstrong's done it on the ground and now through the air.
The normal coverage for Navy is quarters coverage, meaning they're going to take quarters of the field. When number 1 receiver releases vertically and runs to the post, it becomes a one-on-one with the inside slot receiver against the safety, and they took full advantage right there.
2 catches. He has a rushing touchdown as well, coming back from the knee injury. Now it'll be a big hop at the 40-yard line. That was Dexter Williams. And Williams is tackled by Heflin. Dexter Williams, a terrific piece in the South Bend Tribune about the bond between Dexter and his mother, Cheryl, who faces some grave health issues. She moved to South Bend to help guide Dexter back onto the path she and Notre Dame won for him, even though it means cohabitating with his bearded dragon lizard, Rocco. And here is Dexter Williams shaking his way to near midfield. Takes it to the 48, Heflin on the stop.
Great job on the left side of the offensive line between the left tackle, left guard, and left center. Just some really nice jobs right here. There's Aaron Banks, the left guard. Keep your eye on him. Does a good job of sealing in and just double teaming straight up to the backside backer, who gets swarmed because his defensive lineman was sitting in his lap. That's the power that they wanted when they moved 69 into the lineup.
Notre Dame takes a timeout, trying to get it cleaned up prior to third down with a 20-0 lead. On the Navy sideline, that's senior quarterback Garrett Lewis, who is being tended to. Right eye looked like he also had a banged up right hand, and this all plays into Navy's quarterback situation when Malcolm Perry, they try to start him at quarterback, injured. Zach Abe's been hurt. And now Lewis. 3rd and 4 here for Notre Dame. Book on the roll. Book dives near the first down. Heflin.
Looks like they're going to spot him just a hair short, but I would expect them to go for it. We'll take a look at a measurement. But this is what Ian Book does for you guys. He extends the play. His eyes are down the field. And then when he realizes he doesn't have a first down receiver, let me see if I can make the first down myself.
Complete control of the offense when he's out there.
They'll bring the chains out. Remember, Notre Dame converted twice on 4th down on the last drive, that 13-play touchdown drive. Boy. So you're going to stretch it. You see where the mark is, and I don't believe those chains have been stretched yet. Jeff Hezzer and his crew.
They're going to put him on the rack right now for Carter.
Wow. I mean, nose of the pigskin. That's as close as it gets.
Doesn't get any closer than that.
Did I not tell you they were going to be a hair short?
I mean, that's a hair. I mean, so much so that Brian Kelly
My
saying,
hair, which is very thin.
Can we say, can we measure the hair now? Do we use conditioner in the hair?
You can take a look as he's sitting there trying to reach out. That last little contact by the Navy defender, just enough to keep him short. Center quarterback exchange is crucial here, because Navy would love nothing more than to get a turnover here midfield, one way or the other.
4th and a hair.
I see what you did there.
Seems like Clark Lee has accepted his hair loss a little bit more willingly than you have.
When you're right, you're right.
Book under center. There's the push, and Book has a very nice head of hair, and he has a first down.
It's interesting, man. This Navy team, it's almost like it's Superman Bizarro, right? Like they're losing to Notre Dame tonight in the way that they typically beat teams. They typically play perfect. It's ball control offense. They're great on 3rd down. But it's the opposite for this team tonight, and it's really been that way all season long. The inconsistency at the quarterback leading the charge for a very challenging season for the midshipmen.
Rhythm of a coordinator, though. Take a shot right here.
Fake it, Book. There's the shot, and it's complete. It's Komet who has it inside the 25-yard line after getting just enough on 4th down, the big one downfield. Gain of 24.
Great play action in the backfield, holding the linebacker level. Komet gets down behind the linebackers, secures the ball. Beautifully executed football play. Just sitting flat-footed, and Komet just out-athletes those guys, getting himself open. Beautiful job.
Time for Navy to have a Bizarro meal at Reggie's. Book's going to throw to Dexter Williams on first down. Here goes Williams inside the 10. He is knocked out. Well, the Irish are rolling again.
This is a little razzle-dazzle, boys. Looks like it's going to be a naked coming all the way out to the field, but they stop and throw back to the guy he faked to, seeing something on film study that they let him go. And Dexter Williams does the rest.
That's multiple times tonight we've seen Notre Dame receivers wide open out there in the flat.
First and goal, Notre Dame. Book to Komet. He's upended by Jacob Springer, sophomore from Kansas City, Clark Hill South High School.
Notre Dame has ripped people apart down here in the red zone, getting the football to their tight ends. But Navy doing a really nice job, I think, Rick, of flattening these guys out and breaking. And as soon as they turn to get north and south, they're on the ground.
Tackling in space has not been the problem for the midshipmen. They've not tackled well interiorly, and they also have given up too much space outside in terms of the outside routes. That's been their issue.
Ian Book, perfect 4 for 4 on this drive. In the game, he's 18 to 20. Fake it, toss it, put it away, and there's another play by Jared Ryan. Nice.
Just a play action. Basically a pop pass on that quick slant in, but to your point, Carter, Jared Ryan in great coverage reads this and just breaks there with his right hand. Beautiful job of getting on that ball.
This is the epitome of an RPO, fellas. Watch the right guard end up pile driving this guy into the end zone on that particular play. You talk about hard to play defense when the offensive line's coming off to do that and the receivers catching the ball down the field.
Makes our job easy up front, too.
Boykin is back in the game. Book fakes it, tosses, that is Fink, takes a big hit, stretches. He is marked down short of the goal line.
Flag in the end zone.
Nash makes the stop at the 1.
Fink just taking Springer for a ride. Excuse me. Elon Nash.
I'm going to take another look. No, we'll check the flag and then look to see if Fink, in fact, was stretching the ball across the goal line.
I think it's going to be defensive holding.
Holding. Defense, number 14. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Here he is right here. Keep your eye on Chase Claypool towards the end of the play. Just had his left hand and just Farrar just slings him down to the ground. Giving Notre Dame a fresh set of downs and some even more favorable field position.
Watching that on the replay, I think that was the angle of the official. I didn't look like he had held the receiver on that particular play.
So this is possession number 6 for Notre Dame of the first half. That's good news. Yeah, the first one was just one play in the fumble, but you get 6 possessions. That means Navy's not able to play keep away. And 3 of the last 4 possessions have been touchdowns, and you got first and goal here. They've been able to convert 3 times on 4th down on these last 2 drives, and the officials are huddling again.
Take a look at the clock, boys. Minute 13 left. Notre Dame is doing a beautiful job of milking this clock, beating Navy at its own game here at the end of the second quarter.
I don't know that there's a word of out-Navying Navy, but that's exactly what's happening.
That is, like you said, Aaron, that's exactly what Navy wanted to do. Instead, it's Notre Dame. I mean, just dominating.
And it's only a couple minutes there, but usually it's 20 minutes to 10 minutes. It's usually extremely lopsided. So for Notre Dame to basically be tied and even leading is remarkable.
By comparison, guys, a year ago, these 2 teams played. Navy controlled the ball for 42 and 42. 42 minutes and 42 seconds of that game in South Bend.
2 years ago in that Jacksonville game, that fateful 7+ minute drive at the end of the 4th quarter iced it.
It is 3rd down.
I missed that.
He said after the enforcement, it's still 3rd down.
3rd and goal. Motion 3 tight ends. And here's Ian Book handing off. Williams, 3rd and goal. End zone anyway. Touchdown. And it is too easy for the Irish right now.
Just great speed to the edge. This is a great job shifting formations. They get what they believe is an advantage into the boundary and just give it to a superior athlete to that corner.
They out-leveraged Navy there, and great job that time by Williams, putting his foot in the ground, flattening out to be able to give himself a better angle to run around that defense. to get across the goal line.
Jonathan Dorr again on for the PAT. 27-0 Notre Dame. The last two Irish drives, 13 plays for a touchdown. This one goes 10 plays. Same result. Dexter Williams, touchdown. Dexter Williams suspended the first 4 games. Made his presence felt, especially in Blacksburg, with that 97-yard touchdown, the longest in Lane Stadium history. And now with Williams at running back and Jafar Armstrong back for Notre Dame, the change at left guard with Aaron Banks still trying to recover from the loss of Alex Ballers in the knee injury versus Stanford. So Banks now up at left guard, and the run game looking much better for the Irish.
They've already got more rush yards in this first half against Navy than they did the entire game a couple weeks ago against Pitt.
This kickoff will go through the end zone, and that is a touchback. Navy has it at the 25. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Adam, BJ, and Houston up. Get you caught up on a busy day in college football. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Jacksonville, Lexington, and a whole lot more.
On that holding call, the defensive holding call almost always is a first down for the offense, but because that ball was not thrown across the line of scrimmage, it doesn't result in an automatic first down for the offense.
Good clarification. And now for Navy, a minute 4 left before the half. You're down 27-0. And Garrett Lewis, you saw him on the training table with working his eye and his hand. Lewis will drop. Desperation late in the first half for Navy. Downfield incomplete, intended for Taylor Jackson. So let's go back to that defensive holding call to play before the touchdown.
Yeah, we were all worried or concerned and questioning why this wasn't a fresh set of downs, but this ball is behind the line of scrimmage just barely. So that hold up there in the end zone right there by Micah Farrar results in yardage, but not a fresh set of sticks.
And then one play later, Notre Dame takes it in for a touchdown to make it a moot point. And now Navy is...
They are just not able at all to generate any offense at the point of attack, which is the cornerstone of the Navy triple option offense. Now you have to be able to, either the fullback or the quarterback, Aaron, has to be able to generate yards inside to create a pitch advantage because of the defense trying to stop that interior run game.
If you don't have any threat on the dive or the quarterback keep, your pitch and your perimeter game, which is where Malcolm Perry really shines, is effectively useless. Navy gets this ball back to start the second half. They've really got to go to the drawing board to figure out what the heck they can do to move the football on Notre Dame.
And that will likely be the last play of the first half. All Irish, 27-0. 6 possessions in the first half for Notre Dame. The first was a fumble, but the 4 touchdowns and a 27-0 lead on Navy. That is the end of the first half, 27-0. For John Schriffin's halftime interview with Coach Brian Kelly, go to Twitter at CBS Sports CFB. Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. The 92nd consecutive meeting is all Notre Dame. Our Geico first half stats. I mean, when it's 27-0, everything is going to be in favor of Notre Dame. The biggest surprise, perhaps, that time of possession. So, Doors kickoff, touchback. Navy will have it at the 25. With John Schriffen on the sideline, Carter Blackburn, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor. All right, guys, 27-0 all Notre Dame. Clearly, that number 3 next to the Fighting Irish is earned, especially tonight.
They've been masterful defensively, really flattening out this defense, taking away 2 of the 3 options for Navy, and just no real offense on that side of the ball. I think they need to maybe make a change at the quarterback position.
And Chip Long has been Julia Childs. Everything he throws into the casserole is coming up aces. It's been a beautiful plan thus far, just more of the same here in the second half if you're Notre Dame.
What kind of casserole would you be if you were Notre Dame? same.
We'll come up with something wonderful.
That was Rick. And here's Perry. Malcolm Perry breaks the big one. The big play slot back for Navy. Malcolm Perry when the midshipmen needed most. A gain of 57.
A missed tackle on the outside in the perimeter, something Notre Dame did a masterful job. Right there, boom, you've got to be able to get Malcolm Perry on the ground. He is so explosive. This is the exact sort of thing, Rick, that they needed to jumpstart them in the second half.
A little bit of a change up in how they blocked it. They took the wide receiver on that play side and cracked back to that overhanging safety that had been running down that alley player.
Perry, who started the year at quarterback, then back to his slot back position. Lewis takes the snap. Lewis keeper. Still nothing much there for Garrett Lewis. And this is Navy's first trip in the red zone.
And that was the follow play, which basically is a midline situation where the quarterback follows the fullback up inside into the interior. But that is something that Navy needs to go back to, that perimeter play. They tried it in the first half, Rick, but you mentioned the adjustments on the outside. That backside defender for the Irish not able to get home. That's something for us to keep our eye on.
This is where Navy has gone to Zach Abey at quarterback, down near the goal line. Not yet. Here's the toss. Walker on the edge. He slips through. Inside the 5, stretches. He is down short of the goal line. First and goal, Navy. Coney, touchdown, saving tackle.
This is exactly what we were talking about, Aaron.
That is so close. Just with the extension.
Elbow hit first.
That right elbow hit. He's a little bit short. The official's on top of it. This is the best team in the country, fellas. Tied for first in red zone, 23 of 23. But more importantly, 19 touchdowns. 83% of the time they get down here inside the 20, they get 7.
That looks like we're going to take another look. Our replay official, Michael Simcheski, wants to take another look to see if Walker, in fact, did get in.
I think they're going to rule it short. As you can see, his right elbow touches the ground before I think the ball crosses the plane. There.
He's down.
But it is a beautiful adjustment they've made at halftime. They had just, they had left their wide receiver to block the corner, which is typical, but they realized the backside safety was running into the alley unblocked. So what they were doing now is taking the corner with their wideout and now coming off late because they knew the safety was going to arrive late and cracking him.
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
First half, Navy 70 rushing yards. Last 3 plays, 74 yards.
This has been the tale of 2 halves of a Navy team that typically has started games quickly. They carried leads into their last 2 contests against Temple and Houston. But here it's an opposite effect again, where they're slow in the first half, but come back and find a way to get themselves down on the 1-yard line with Zach Abey, the starting wide receiver and starting quarterback a year ago, back under center.
Abey first and goal. Abey stretches, pushes, and he is apparently
in.
It is touchdown. You got it.
I just like the way you say touchdown.
Waiting for the headliner to make the call, but the linesman on the other side. Here you go, Rick. Touchdown, Navy.
No one does it like Blackburn. What a great drive by the midshipmen to come out of the second half after being, this game having been so one-sided.
That was really close.
They may look at it again.
They may need to look at this because Tavon Coney was right there, and I thought stopped him before the edge of that ball crossed the goal line.
Get out that hair measurement again for Zach Abey.
I'm going to say short. I'm using my hair as the measuring device once again and say not quite.
It was a heck of a second effort this time by Abey that may have been what they saw, but I think Coney does an excellent job of filling his gap and keeping Abey from getting inside the goal line. Right there is maybe what they saw. The tip of the ball from that angle that second time when they slowed it down, to me, looked like it did cross the plane.
Well, the ruling on the field's touchdown, so they have to have it absolutely definitive that it's not to take the touchdown off the board, but to me, just slightly short.
The field stands. touchdown.
Stands rather than confirmed.
I'm glad to hear my hair's gotten thicker.
So that's the quarterback wrinkle that Navy has been using pretty much all year. Aby was a quarterback last year, led him to a win over Air Force in a classic, but in part because of injury, and limited to red zone appearances. And Bennett Mooring's PAT puts Navy in the end zone and on the board. So after the 27-0 start for the Irish, finally anchors away in the end zone. Navy's finally on the board, 27-7. Next Saturday, noon Eastern, CBS Sports Network. A critical matchup in the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy Series as the Air Force Falcons fly into West Point, take on the Army Black Knights. An Air Force win. They take the Commander-in-Chief Trophy in 2018 outright. Army the winner last year. Navy last won it in 2015. Let's go back to the Malcolm Perry run to break it. Take a look at that, AT.
Well, just a great play design. This motion is going to bring this safety over. Then they're going to come here and crack this backside safety. But that leaves a couple defenders unblocked, Rick. And Notre Dame has to do a better job of tackling here.
Garrett Lewis has to do a better job of optioning the one defender. And they have just made the decision, we're going to make the corner make the tackle. When you think about who makes the tackles on a defense, it's much more likely that the safety is going to have more tackles than a corner. They just said, you know what, we're going to beat him one-on-one, and Malcolm Perry did just that.
It's only the second time Navy has gone 75 yards for a touchdown this year. The other, a 75-yard touchdown run by Malcolm Perry. That was against Hawaii. Fair catch. They'll have it at the 25. Let's check in with John.
Carter had a chance to speak with both head coaches at the half. Let's first start with Notre Dame's Brian Kelly. Gave me an update on injured linebacker Drew Tranquil. Some bit of good news. He said x-rays were taken on the ankle. Came back negative. It is not broken, but it is sprained, and we will not see him back in the second half. As for Navy, spoke with head coach Ken Niumatalolo. He told me, look, we were not executing well in that first half, meaning we were missing our blocking assignments, and that cannot happen against this team. Clearly, they got that fixed on that first drive.
Thank you, John. They'll snap it from the 26-yard line. That's where that fair catch was, so 1 extra yard there for Notre Dame. Farrar makes the stop on Claypool.
When you're watching Navy defensively, they're giving a lot of cushion to these receivers that are athletic and long. They don't want to get beat over the top. So Notre Dame starts the second half like they started the first, taking some free money with a short throw.
Claypool hobbles off after a gain of 9. Jones in the backfield. Here comes pressure. It's batted away. Jared Ryan with a pass breakup. Ryan coming on the Cowboy.
Here he is off the left side of the line of scrimmage, just making sure that he forces the issue. Here he is. He's going to come unblocked.
He saves a big play here because Book had this wheel route. He was going to throw it into the back shoulder and had a chance for some big yardage here.
It's only the 4th incompletion of the game by Ian Book. 3rd and 1. Book. Hey, zips it in there. What a throw. It's caught by Boykin, who had the fumble on the first play from scrimmage. But Boykin out of the doghouse and back onto the field.
At the top of the show, I mentioned what Ian Book meant to this offense. Here he's going to see a perfect back shoulder opportunity. And if you're wondering what's the definition of a back shoulder, it's just putting the ball where the defender has zero chance to make a play. Great acrobatic skills by the receiver, and obviously a big first down for the Irish.
Book 1st and 10 finds Armstrong. We've seen Claypool hobble off and Boykin a bit gimpy coming off for the Irish as well.
Rick talked about those shallow crossing routes. That's basically the opposite, where it goes out to the flat. They've been trying to hit their tight ends, but that's been something the linebackers and safety on that side of the field have done a good job of corralling and not letting them get yards after the catch.
Williams take it. Navy was ready. 3 rushing touchdowns in the game for Dexter Williams, but he meets Jackson Pittman, the junior from Antioch, Tennessee, same hometown as Navy great Keenan Reynolds, now with the Seahawks.
We featured him in the starting lineups, talking about him needing to make a difference. There he is in the middle of the field. trying to get blocked back on, but gets inside Trevor Ruhlin, the right guard. As an offensive lineman, you have to get your head across the defensive lineman. Ruhlin didn't for the tackle for loss.
3rd and 9, Book. Stepping up, he's going to run it. And he will easily have a first down. Ian Book inside the 25. Gets out of bounds. Ryan shoves him out, but Book scrambles for 21.
And there's that athleticism we talked about, right? What were you going to lose when you put Brandon Wimbush on the bench? What elements of your offense were you giving up? Well, you might be giving up some big play potential, but with the athleticism of Book, you're not giving up very much. So the quarterback run game is alive and well, as are these extending plays, keeping drives alive.
First possession of the second half for the Irish. Williams inside the 10. Williams is down at the 6. 1st and goal, Notre Dame. Heflin finally stops Williams from getting in the end zone. He's disappointed they didn't take it across for a 4th rushing touchdown. Gain is 17.
Great job that time by the left guard and center, getting to that next level and creating run lanes.
Williams takes it 1st and goal. Pushing and pushing back. Heflin and Sullivan combine on the stop.
Heflin's having a heck of a night in that inside run game. Linebackers need to be able to quickly identify what the scheme is and then cancel their gap, and 54 has done that all night long for the midshipman defense.
Look for a fade into the short side of the field here. They're going to get one-on-one coverage. We saw Book take advantage of the back shoulder one-on-one earlier. Got another opportunity right here at the top of the screen.
Kevin Austin out there wide for the Irish.
On 2nd and goal, instead fake it, get it to Fink. Fink sheds the first man, can't shed the second. Flag is down. Haley makes the stop. Here's the flag.
These are going to be offensive pass interference calls, but I believe they're going to be picked up because the ball was completed behind the line of scrimmage.
Evan Faulkman is the player down for Navy.
It was clearly a pick, and that's why the flags came out like, laundry at a hotel, right? But what happened, the ball was completed, I believe, behind the line of scrimmage is why the conference, and I believe they'll get picked up.
Had a couple of these wrinkles behind the line of scrimmage passes near the goal line.
It's very effective down here.
Pass interference
in the red zone.
Offense. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down. The penalty was on number 84.
They have it on Cole Kmet. It looked like it might have been 87.
Brian Kelly is adamant that that ball was completed behind the line of scrimmage.
It certainly looks like it does. The ball on the 6-yard line frees it where Chris Fink catches the football. It was a little bit ahead of where that was. I think it was close, Rick, but I think the officials got that correct.
By true letter of the law, they did get it correct. Normally, you get the benefit of the doubt.
Now that's a head coach's perspective right there.
Normally you do, which is why he is.
Well, it was so egregious by Michael Young, 87 there, just taking out the defender that's out there on the slot.
But because that's the way they practice it, Aaron. The mistake was by the receiver to get close to the line of scrimmage.
He's got to
right?
be more shallow and be behind the line.
And Faulkman's injury gave Brian Kelly a few extra minutes. Case nonetheless, offensive pass interference. Faulkman comes off the field. Alon Nash back in. A red zone trip for Notre Dame. They've been perfect in the red zone, but now because of the penalty, you're back out of the 21. Book, Williams blocking on the edge. Kmet. Williams is wrestled down inside the 15-yard line. Tough tackle by Sean Williams, the senior from Memphis.
Thought Cole Kmet had a little bit of a jersey there that didn't get called, but Notre Dame trying to use their speed on the perimeter and doing a pretty effective job of doing it.
Notre Dame a perfect 4 for 4 touchdowns in the red zone.
Empty formation. Look for somebody down the middle of the field. Look to somebody in the corner and a shallow crosser from this backside.
Don't discount Ian Book's legs either.
Heavy pressure. Book releases incomplete. The pressure forced Book to release it early, intended for Kmet. It was Heflin, the dog up the middle.
Just a green dog comes. They know that there's only 5 defenders. It's probably an automatic check because he knows that there's nobody there to be able to pick him up. And the hurried throw is off target, intended for Cole Kmet. good job of dialing up pressure that time for Navy that gets a break with the pass interference, forcing the field goal.
Here is Jonathan Doerer, his first field goal attempt since Charlotte South Mecklenburg High School. And it is good. A perfect field goal kicking career for Jonathan Doerer. Oh, that missed PAT's way in the background now, 30-7. The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Coors Light, The Home Depot, Outback Steakhouse, and by State Farm. Look at that fresh-faced youngster from the East Bay area holding the Lombardi Trophy, the College Football Hall of Fame nominee, our partner, Mr. Aaron Taylor.
What's up, fellas?
He's still got it, too. Look at that. Look at that.
I'll tell you what, I'm a shell of my former self. I look in the mirror when I get out of the shower, I'm like, what has happened to you, man?
No, what did Coach Holt say about sand in your toes?
Yeah, I'm never going to recruit California again, Taylor. Get out of my drill. You ruin everything.
You do a good Lou Holtz. I'm just telling you that right now.
You heard a lot of it, didn't you?
Oh, my gosh. The learning curve was steep for old Aaron Taylor, but somewhere along the line, I think I figured a couple things out.
Well, it was fun to hear you and Ian Book talk about the California going to South Bend that first time on campus. He talked about his magic moment, and it was magic for you, too.
I had this big Russian hat that I would wear because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, 60 degrees in California was a cold day. I landed in South Bend on, I think, December 2nd for the football banquet and got off the plane and was like, oh my gosh, can it physically get this cold? I've never been that cold in my life. And somehow I still decided to stay, and 4 years later walked away with a degree somehow.
Springer fair catch. It'll come out to the 25. All right, we're going to go true or false with some fun facts about Aaron Taylor. Lived in a dorm with air conditioning, 1 of 2 at the time. True or false?
That is true.
Okay.
Flanner Hall, which is now an office building of some sort.
Did you get
business?
into the boxing there?
I didn't get into the bingo bouts. There was a lot of former players that did. I wasn't one of those. Boxing wasn't my thing. It's too much cardiovascular conditioning for that.
Now this one I'd never heard. The ran a pizza business from your dorm room?
I basically jacked pizza from everybody on the floor, and they would try to resell it for a little extra pocket change.
That's Malcolm Perry on the toss and takes the pop. All right, and then the meatless baked ziti, so just pure carbs. You've changed so much in life.
I've grown and evolved since I was there on the North Dining Hall. It was also Yo Cream. That was big when the yogurt machines came in.
Yeah, Froyo.
We love some Froyo at Notre Dame.
That's a guy who scours the menu when he gets to something that starts with a Z. That's a guy who can go from A to Z.
When he gets to anywhere. Garrett Lewis at QB. Oh, yeah. I love that we're going true or false. They're all 3 true. Lewis drop. Lewis wants a deep shot. Downfield. It is caught inside the 30. Another big one for Navy. Michael Cooper holds it in to give the Mids a lift with a gain of 34.
This is a beautiful throw by Garrett Lewis. Is it right on the money? No, but he gives his receiver a chance to make the play. To come back and make the play, it's all you want to do, especially when you know the defensive back will never see the football.
Here's a toss. Perry on the edge. Perry shoved out. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for a forward update.
All right, Carter, Washington State and Stanford going back and forth with about 90 seconds left. KJ Costello for Stanford to his main man, JJ Arcego-Whiteside to tie it up. Winner takes first place in the Pac-12 North. And Aaron, you look great.
Wow. Adam shouldn't be surprised.
I mean, gosh, he let those carbs go and look at
Ever since you cut out the meatless baked ziti.
And Froyo and sugar.
Gargiulo's in at fullback. And here's Gargiulo inside the 15. Shedding defenders. Gargiulo takes it all the way down to the 1. Navy trying to fight back First and goal. Bill the Goat loves it.
These yards were not available in the first half. Fullback getting into the backside A gap here, beautifully done.
But he presses it play side and then comes back late. That's why this play is successful, because the backside defensive lineman misses his tackle, and Gargiulo does the rest to get the ball down to the 1.
Navy's last possession. 4 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive. This one, 4 plays, 74 yards, first and goal. It is Lewis. Lewis pushing. Lewis stood up. Second and goal. So they keep Garrett Lewis in there rather than Zach Abey for now.
Yeah, Notre Dame interior defensive line just too stout up inside to be able to have too much success on that sort of play. Looks like Lewis is going to stay in there.
And now they make the switch. Here comes Abey.
Here comes Abey. This is a better decision by Navy offensively. Ivan Jasper knows that Abey has a nose for the end zone. This offensive line needs to be able to get under their pads, have some leverage to get inside the end zone.
Abey second and goal, and waiting, and apparently short. Third and goal.
I thought he might have got that.
Looked like he reached it across the line.
I agree with you. Yep. And that's the first time that Navy's run that keeper to the left-hand side. All the previous attempts have been to the right.
Well, I'm not going to look at it yet. So third and goal.
Guess who was there? Tavon Coney with another brilliant stop.
7th play of the drive, longest for Navy. Abey this time, he is in. Touchdown, Navy. Zach Abey trying to lead the comeback charge in front of the brigade of midshipmen.
Just a completely different offense in this second half. They just recommitted to the run. They're blocking better, getting a hat on the hat, being able to throw some footballs down the field. There's some balance to this offense we didn't see, and that's just about want to when you get down there on the goal line. Navy trying to claw themselves back into this ball game.
A successful extra point here. It's a 2-score game. Who would have believed that at halftime?
Back-to-back 75-yard touchdown drives for Navy to begin the third quarter. Bennett Mooring boots it through. So the big play on the last drive came from Malcolm Perry. This one through the air from Garrett Lewis to Michael Cooper, the true freshman from San Antonio, to set it up. Then Gargiulo. And finally, Abey, blue of the mighty deep, fighting back in San Diego.
Went back.
30-14, Notre Dame on Navy. The midshipmen in the second half are averaging 11.5 yards per play. CBS's Super Bowl season continues tomorrow when Denver faces off with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Sam Darnold and the Jets head to Chicago. Check your local listings and kick off your day with the NFL Today, powered by Ram Trucks at noon Eastern. Saw Phillip Rivers here earlier, and kind of a bittersweet sight for the San Diegans. This used to be Phillip Rivers' playground, and oh, by the way, San Diego State University trying to gain control of this Mission Valley area for a West campus. It is Proposition G on the ballot. SDCCU Stadium, now known, formerly the Merck Qualcomm. Mooring kickoff. Young will take a knee. Touchback to the 25. Quite a day for Dexter Williams so far. Quite a night.
Well, getting that run game going was what the Irish wanted to be able to do, and that's why he's our GMC game changer. He's just an effective runner, breaking tackles, but look at the running lane. He has an ability with his vision, Rick, to be able to bounce to the outside and take advantage of those lanes that those offensive linemen and tight end are creating.
No question, the complete package as a back. Vision, speed, power.
Williams takes the handoff on first down again. rushing to the 30-yard line. Gain of 5 for Williams.
It's important that Chip Long stay aggressive here. You know, it's a 2-score game. Navy has made some adjustments. Give Ivan Jasper all kinds of credit at half, going in and finding some ways to get this run game going for the midshipmen. Important that Chip Long stay on the gas pedal here.
Williams driven back. Tyler Heflin explodes for the tackle for loss, forcing the Irish into 3rd down.
Tyler Heflin's been all over the field. He's lined up on the hash. Just as a linebacker, you have to know and have a sense for the football. He just runs from the space vacated by the pulling lineman and gets another tackle for loss and gets Notre Dame into a 3rd and long situation. Navy's had some success bringing pressure, but I don't think they're going to do so here.
Book, 3rd and 7. Book flings, it's incomplete.
Little early.
Cromartie applies the pressure. There's a flag down.
I think that's going to be
Pass interference, defense, number 54. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Spot foul because it's less than 15 yards, but automatic 1st down.
There's those shallow crosses, Rick, that you were talking about that they like. Heflin just a beat early for the penalty.
And the receiver was going to catch it before the sticks. There was no need to make this play early. It would not have been a 1st down. Just make the secure tackle and get off the field. These are the kind of things that why I have such thin hair.
So Heflin gets a tackle for loss, and then the penalty to keep it rolling for the Irish. And Book rolling with the legs across the 40. He takes a pop from Jacob Springer, but Ian Book gets to the 43.
Here's the quarterback run faction of this offense that Brian Kelly loves, certainly Chip Long loves, but I'm telling you right now, they don't want him to take that hit. He's too valuable to this offense as they're making a championship run. He needs to get down and protect himself.
Split flow zone there with the tight end leading the charge.
Armstrong to carry on 1st down. Just a couple. Jackson Pittman with the tackle.
Going back to that previous play, it was a great play call because the way that Navy was overcommitting to be able to try to stop that inside zone. They saw it upstairs, pulled the tight end around and slipped him where he doesn't kick out that defensive end, but becomes the lead blocker, and that's what opened that play up.
Navy's outscored the Fighting Irish 14-3 here in the 3rd to get back in the game. Book straight ahead. Armstrong breaks it inside the 40, delivers a blow. He and Sean Williams meet in the open field, and they both get physical.
You're going to see some stunting this time by Navy's defensive line. Going to go outside. That's going to create a huge run lane up inside there. There's nobody home.
That's a bust.
Jafar Armstrong just shows his speed, and nobody can get him on the ground.
2 defenders in the same gap is not correct.
Never bueno.
Armstrong gets a break. Fake it, toss it. Fink on 1st and 10 inside the 25. Fink inside the 15. Wrestle down inside the 10 with Wisher blocking for him on the screen. Chris Fink makes it 1st and goal, Notre Dame.
Thought Chase Claypool, the wide receiver 83, might have got away with a hold on that last one, but nonetheless, Notre Dame 1st down from the 10.
Gain of 26. Williams in the backfield, already 3 rushing touchdowns. 2nd goal coming. Back to the big one for Fink.
Keep your eye on number 83 on the left-hand side of your screen, Chase Claypool. Nope. It was clean. It looked like he had a little bit of his jersey into his hand. These receivers out on the outside edge doing a nice job on the perimeter for Notre Dame. Trying to give him a penalty. He's out there blocking his tail off.
Usually you're arguing the other way around, 18. And we got a timeout here for Notre Dame, trying to get lined up for 2nd and goal as Navy tightening things up. 3rd and goal. 2nd and goal coming for the Irish. Monday on CBS, a bizarre case leads Magnum to a house of horrors just in time for Halloween. New Magnum PI, Monday, 9/8 Central, only CBS. All right, see what BK's 40 time is.
Let me just say, the old days you used to have to call timeout from the field. When they gave it to coaches, you have to run down that sideline to get somebody's attention. I've seen more than one guy trip. He was a little angry at the play call, had to go down, get that timeout, and then go back and get after his coach.
2nd and goal. Book hands to Williams, pushing to near the 3. The only time that Notre Dame has been in the red zone and not scored a touchdown tonight was the last trip, settled for a field goal.
Exactly right. Now you're at the 3-yard line. This is where you're going to look at your 2-point plays that you had prepared for the evening. This is where it's going to come up, and the likelihood is it's going to be a run-pass option, something that gives Book a chance to keep the ball and run the ball in, or look for a one-on-one opportunity that he thinks is a matchup advantage for the Irish.
A minute 10 to go before the 4th. 3rd and goal. Book. Boykin, touchdown. Miles Boykin holds it in. First play of the game was a Miles Boykin fumble. And now the senior from Tinley Park, Illinois, has another TD grab. Well, pass from Ian Book.
Classic rub route. Outside receiver comes down just to run a little interference. Boykin runs from the slot, looks over, and Book sees, do I throw it over the top to the back of the end zone, or do I stay in the front end zone based on the relationship between the defender and the rub? And he obviously takes full advantage with the back shoulder throw.
He had his choice and even double hitched that before he got that football off.
Doors PAT is good. Miles Boykin now 8 career touchdowns. 6 of them from Ian Book. And after the early struggles for Boykin and the Irish, rolling again, 37-14. Miles Boykin spent some time on that bench after the early fumble, but he's back into the game and he's in the end zone.
This is just going to be a pick route. Here's Miles Boykin here, but you see Claypool, they're going to almost hit each other and bump into each other there. Good readjustment there, but Rick, Claypool should have run a little bit of a different route there.
Yeah, Ian Book is reading Cameron Kinley, the defender. If he goes over the top, he's going to throw it behind him. If he came underneath the outside receiver, he'd throw it to the back of the end zone. Well done by Ian Book.
Just so we're clear, if you pick your own man, it is not a penalty.
Good,
okay.
not good.
And by the way, we shouldn't use the word pick. That would be illegal. It's a rub route. A rub route,
right.
Yes.
Rubbing is racing.
Very close crossing route. Moore, who's been the kickoff specialist, handling all the placements tonight. Fair catch, so Navy will have it at the 25-yard line. 37-14 here. Let's check in with Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, Carter, it's over on the farm. Washington State's Blake Mazza, the 42-yard field goal, putting the Cougs on top for good, beating Stanford 41-38. Now alone atop the Pac-12 North, Gardner Minshew, 40 for 50, 438 yards. Got a Heisman candidate with a mustache, boys.
How about that Gardner Minshew?
Oh, he's been unbelievable this year.
That might be one of the best stories of all of college football this whole year. We've had some great ones, but Gardner Minshew coming from Eastern Carolina to become the transfer quarterback there, given the circumstances with the death of Tyler Helinski, remarkable stuff.
Short gain for Lewis. Just gets a couple there. Last minute of this third quarter, you think about the Stanford. I mean, that's one of the concerns for the Irish at this point, that Stanford, the quality win of Stanford, that's another loss for the Cardinal. That as the, I think if you get down to 4 versus 5 of the college football playoff.
I believe the Irish have their destiny in their own hands. They take care of business, they will be one of the fabulous quartet.
Yeah, and Michigan really coming on is helping their strength of schedule, but I agree, if they're undefeated, they will be in the college football playoff.
Lewis, long drop, 2nd and 9. Here he is on the roll. Lewis flings it incomplete, and chance at a pick there for Julian Love, who was beat on the last play. Now let's look at the rest of that Notre Dame schedule, and you're at USC. That's the second California trip.
Let's not get past that next week game against Northwestern. They just won again today. They are sitting with only 1 loss in the Big Ten West. That game's going to be a wild one in Chicago.
No question. And how about the ball that Syracuse is playing? They've got a puncher's chance with that offense being able to put up some points, and the defense that's proven an ability to rush the passer.
Lewis, toss, Perry, nothing there. He is wrestled down on the edge by Coney on likely the last play of the third quarter. So the midshipmen came out firing. Back-to-back 75-yard touchdown drives. They outscore the Irish 14-3 until the late score by Notre Dame puts the Irish in command again, headed to the 4th. 37-14. 15 minutes away from 8-0 for Notre Dame. Notre Dame dominated the first half. Navy dominated the third quarter until the late touchdown by Notre Dame. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. We begin the fourth quarter with Navy punting 3 and out. And 2 touchdown drives in the third, but Owen White, the junior from Portland, Oregon, Central Catholic, boots it away. Fink let it bounce, giving Navy a few more yards, down at the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at that AP top 10 and all of the implications for Notre Dame's pursuit of a national championship.
Well, certainly another undefeated team went down in South Florida, so now there are 4. The bottom line is this: if Notre Dame wins out, they will be in the college football playoff.
The question Irish fans have, can they get there with 1 loss, right? And I would say, given what's happened in the Pac-12, I know Washington State still only got 1 loss, but their non-conference schedule was not demanding. We only have 1 team now left. If Texas, which is down 17 right now, if they fall today to Oklahoma State, only Oklahoma will be left in the Big 12 with 1 loss. I think a 1-loss Oklahoma winning a Big 12 champion would get ahead of Notre Dame. But Notre Dame, if Oklahoma falls again, I think would find their way there. I think you'd get a Big 10, a ACC, and an SEC champion, along with Notre Dame as a 1-loss team.
Yeah, if you have two-loss champions from group of our Power 5 conferences, that's certainly going to open the door for Notre Dame. But can Notre Dame withstand a loss with no championship game to make up for it?
Armstrong on the reverse gets 18. Ian Book on the roll on first down. Book steps out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. Let's check in with Adam Zucker in New York.
All right, Carter, on CBS Sports Network, it was Brett Rippon with 5 touchdown passes in Boise State's win over Air Force, 3 to John Hightower, who doubled his season total tonight. Falcons now look to get the Commander-in-Chief's trophy at Army next week, noon Eastern, on CBS Sports Network, guys.
Air Force dominated Navy in that game that we had in the United States Air Force Academy, 18. Jones gets the handoff on second down. Jones patiently waiting, and Aaron Banks clears the way for Tony Jones Jr.
That's what it is you want to do. You want to get a hat on a hat, as we say in the football world, and cover up the defenders. Notre Dame resetting the lines of scrimmage. There's guys in his way, but just a really nice job there of continuing and maintaining your block. There's basically 3 phases of a block, and Notre Dame finished in the 3rd phase there.
Navy brings pressure and gets a pick. Springer has it intercepted off of Ian Book, and he's going to take it back inside the 40. Ian Book, just the 4th interception he has thrown this year, and Navy gets a boost in the 4th.
Brian Kelly is going to be disappointed. You don't need to take this sort of chance. I actually question the play call a little bit. 3rd and 2, you're going to have 2 downs right there to get the first down. Beautiful job by Navy, seeing his eyes, leading him to the throw. And just a great job of giving Navy a little spark here in the 4th quarter.
He never saw the single high. Springer kind of double hitched, waited, and just threw that ball blindly.
2 picks in the last game versus Pitt. This one in the 4th quarter versus Navy. Lewis, keeper, inside the 35.
That's a nice job, a nice run by Lewis to be able to put his foot in the ground and get those much-needed yards. That's probably his biggest pickup with a quarterback keep all night long. That's what they were missing in the first half.
Aaron, you're dead right. That is what triple option needs from the quarterback position.
You have to threaten with all 3 phases of that triple option in Navy until that last one just wasn't finding any room or success with the quarterback.
Lewis going to hand off, and that is Martin, who breaks free and takes it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy. The takeaway by Springer, and a 33-yard touchdown run from Mike Martin. You know the Mids are going to fight to the end, and you're seeing it on the field now in San Diego.
We started at the top of the show talking about the brotherhood believes. This has been a team all season long that has played good halves of football. They've just never put 2 good halves together. They started slow in the first half, but have really come alive here in the second.
We talked at halftime about Ivan Jasper's predicament. How could he get back down 27-0? And he needed the opportunity. He needed the opportunity to stay patient. They have found a way to get yards in those A-gaps.
When you win the turnover battle or create opportunities for this offense, you're going to be successful. That interception by Springer huge here as they go for 2.
AB at quarterback. Trying to keep him perfect on 2-point conversions. There's a toss. There's a catch. Navy gets 2. And you have a 15-point game. The takeaway on defense by Navy. The rare mistake by Ian Book. Turns not only into 7, but 8. And the midshipmen, trailing 27-0 at the half, have fought back to make it a ball game late. AB for 2 points, 37-22, as the Mids fight back. And now it's time for our ExxonMobil game recap. For the first time in California, first time west of the Mississippi, Notre Dame versus Navy. Ian Book off to the hot start in the first half, 27-0. The run game, it was all Notre Dame. I mean, cruising into the second half until Zach Abey versed 2 rushing touchdowns tonight.
Doing a beautiful job there, and then it was the run game that was taking over. Just a nice job up the gut against that Irish defense that overran the whole. Navy trying to get themselves back into this ball game. Martin with the huge run with the first phase of the triple option, the dive immediately after the quarterback game came alive. But Garrett Lewis, those things work in concert.
The reason they call it triple is there's a triple threat, right? And all 3 threats have to be in sync for you to be at full octane. Obviously, Navy got that done in that particular drive.
Bennett Mooring's kickoff, taken by Young inside the 5. Young, as seen, tripped up down to near the 25-yard line. Let's check with John.
For both teams. Alohi Gilman, safety for Notre Dame, spent his first 2 years at the Naval Academy. He actually led the team in tackles in their win over Notre Dame in 2016. But he told me he decided to transfer because he wasn't really sure if the military was for him. Also, they changed the rule and he would not be allowed to go pro after graduating. That's why he wanted to go to Notre Dame. But we spoke to some of his former teammates, and Alon Nash said, look, there is no ill will. He went through the same tough training we all did. We wish him well, except for this week.
That's exactly right, John. Yeah, his former teammates were very complimentary. Dexter Williams on the left side. Williams, Heflin makes the stop, but I mean, that was, Williams is down right now for Navy, but just to put a point on the end of that one, they say, hey, go through your plebe year. That's the hard part. He made it through that, and that bond is for life no matter what.
Well, you can imagine in the recruiting process that they're telling him, hey, at the end, you're going to have this opportunity to go and play at the next level. And then when that goes away, he says, I'd like to maybe go someplace where I have that opportunity.
Williams breaks another one. Springer on the stop. Let's check in with Adam Zucker again in New York.
Hey, Carter, Mississippi State got its offense going against Texas A&M. Nick Fitzgerald, 4 interceptions last week against LSU. Where's the Aggies defense? These guys are jogging. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 in the air, 28-13 win. Back to you.
I can hear the cowbells ringing from here.
Getting that thing back going. The SEC's best rush defense here.
Williams, and by the way, Mississippi State was the only team who had not lost a fumble all year, where Notre Dame only had one.
I expected such big things from Joe Moorhead and Nick Fitzgerald, that collaboration. And obviously they got it going a little bit tonight, but it has been slow coming.
A little bit of a square peg in a round hole type situation. Nick Fitzgerald just doesn't have the type of ability to throw the football that Joe Moorhead needs to be successful, and certainly not what he had at Penn State.
More pressure off the edge, and the Irish run right past it. Jafar Armstrong, first down. There is a flag down.
In the area of holding.
Holding, offense, number 69, 10-yard penalty, second down.
This is where if you're Navy, you've got to take a few more chances. You're 2 possessions down, 15 points down. You've got to take some chances. You've got to get the ball back. And Notre Dame on the other side, they've got to start chewing up clock.
Keep your eye on the left guard, Aaron Banks. He just swallows him up. He's got his hands on the outside. He's got to fight to get those hands back on the inside. When your hands are where the officials can see them, they're going to call that penalty. That's just a case of being a young player has to finish his block and redirect his hands if they don't end up with their intended target.
His helmet will tell you how physical he's been in his first career start. This is Armstrong on 2nd and 11, and Armstrong is brought down by Hudson Sullivan to make it 3rd down for the Fighting Irish.
I know it doesn't seem like a big deal at this point because there's 10:42 left in the game, but they snapped that ball with 9 seconds on the 40-second clock. Taking another 5 each and every time as you have the opportunity limits the opportunities at the end of a game, especially in a 2-possession game as it currently stands.
The bottom line is, and I agree with you, Rick, it is never too early to start managing the clock when you're facing a Navy offense that seems to have found some life here.
In the second half, still Notre Dame controlling, but Navy's been explosive. 3rd and 9, here's Ian Book. Facing the pressure, Book still well behind the line of scrimmage, so he heaves it downfield, and it's caught. Book kept the play alive, and Jafar Armstrong finally got free for a gain of 26.
Wow.
Houdini. For my next trick, this is exactly what he's brought to the offense.
Buying time, he's got his hands up, throws off of his back foot away a little bit across his body on the money.
The ability not to panic, the ability to keep your eyes down the field, and the ability to make that kind of play separates him from Brandon Wimbush.
26 for 32 tonight so far.
Dexter Williams, nothing much doing there on 1st down. Sullivan again and on the stop.
Clock. Keep plodding that clock if you're the Irish. Take full advantage of this opportunity to get 3 more plays and take that clock down, limiting the options for the midshipmen.
They're almost doing the opposite, Rick. It looks like they're almost got a little bit of tempo working here.
Saw Ken Niumatalolo's eyes on the clock. They're used to playing these tight games in the 4th. Jones, 2nd and 9. Nothing there for Jones. It's Villalobos, the senior from Fort Worth, Texas, who makes that stop to force 3rd down from just outside the 20.
Does a nice job that time of setting the edge on the defense, gets upfield and forces everything back inside.
All right, where are you going for Ian Book on 3rd and 7?
I think this is another RPO where they're going to put the ball in the belly of that back and look for something to throw outside.
Tighter coverage by Navy this time.
Book, quick drop. Toss, goal line, Boykin again, touchdown, Notre Dame. Boykin has 2 touchdowns in the second half to keep the Irish in control. This one goes for 22.
Hard to define the back shoulder throw, but Ian Book doesn't need the definition. He's got it down. The trajectory's perfect, the placement's perfect. Only his receiver Boykin can see the ball. Touchdown Irish.
Boykin's got a 5-inch height advantage on Jared Ryan that was in effect there as well, but man, I don't know if you can throw a football better than we just saw Ian Book do.
Gandor on for the PAT in place of the injured Justin Yoon, and that PAT is good. So after the pick on the last possession by Ian Book, he fights back to lead another touchdown drive and finds Miles Boykin again. California, I'll be knocking on the golden door. The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Humana, The Home Depot, Chick-fil-A, and by Wheels Up. Boykin back into the end zone. Redemption time for him in the second half. 44-22 now as Boykin and Book, the special connection continues. Going back to that 55-yarder to beat LSU in Orlando in the bowl game last year when Book came on some of that 4th quarter magic. Doors kickoff. Harry lets it go. It'll be a touchback to the 25. Next Saturday, The Home Depot SEC on CBS features an SEC East showdown. Georgia taking on Kentucky at 3:30 Eastern. Then two of the top teams in the country collide when #1 Alabama battles 4th-ranked LSU in prime time. The college football pregames kick off the day beginning at 2:30 Eastern right here on CBS. So Adam Amosa Tungavailoa, the senior left tackle for Navy. That's Tungavailoa. Here's a reverse. Here's Avey on 1st and 10. Avey's going to take the shot downfield, and it is incomplete. Now, the reason we're showing you Adam Amosa Tungavailoa, his brother Myron, defensive lineman for Notre Dame, but Myron Tungavailoa Amosa, forget about the name switch, broken foot versus Michigan. Cousin Tua, the Bama quarterback and Heisman favorite, younger brother of Tua, Taulia Tungavailoa, a Bama commit, and he is putting up some ridiculous high school numbers. So it is an accomplished football family.
Video game numbers. It's off the charts what Tua Tungavailoa has been doing.
Unprecedented. Almost a fumble there.
Perry keeps it, 2nd and 10. Looking for a burst on the edge, shoved out. Here comes the flag. Jalen Elliott looked like he may have pushed Perry late. There's also an injured member of the Fighting Irish. Ismar Bilal, the senior rover.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
There's 21. And as the training staff tends to, Bilal on the field, we step aside. Tomorrow on CBS, some friends come into our life the exact moment we need them most. Watch an all-new God Friended Me tomorrow after 60 Minutes, only CBS. Let's go back to that last play where Bilal got hurt.
Take a look right here. It's just going to be a simple crackback. It is above the waist, but Rick, you think that might be a little bit of a questionable call there?
Well, I don't think it's questionable. It's within the rules. But as we continue to try to make the game safer, that is the epitome of a defenseless player right there. You just got to make sure you're being as safe as you can be.
Here's Perry, cuts it back. Perry across the 50. Malcolm Perry, blockers. The big play slot back. Malcolm Perry gets another one for Navy. Forced out near the 36. O'Guara finally shoves him out.
This is what makes him so good. He keeps plays alive. He's got tremendous explosion as a slot back. It's just a straight pitch to the outside. Notre Dame actually does a good job of setting the edge, but the pursuit overruns it.
Yeah, this is just the product of a unique athlete right here.
Just one-on-one in the open field. There's Jalen Elliott. He doesn't make the tackle, and Perry does the rest.
98 yards in the second half, trying to lead the comeback effort. Lewis, toss. That's Williams on the edge. Shoved out near the 30. Let's check in again with Adam Zucker.
All right, Carter, Syracuse trying to earn bowl eligibility tonight, and after intercepting Ryan Finley, Dante Strickland goes in on 3rd and goal. 51-41 the final. Just a short walk from Fagans, Carter.
Oh, it's short going to Fagans, and it's a long way on the way back. I'll just say that.
No one loves a Syracuse highlight than Adam Zucker.
And if you get Bob
More
Dylan,
than Adam Zucker,
if you get Bob Dylan Hurricane at Fagans, it's a great night. I'll tell you that. And there is Lewis, keeper. And so you have now for Notre Dame, Drew Tranquil left the game in the first half. Bilal leaves the game here in the 4th quarter. So you're getting thin at linebacker defending this option.
Yeah, this isn't the way that Brian Kelly wanted this night to go. Not only is he losing players, but he's got a team that's letting Navy stick around in this ball game.
Potential play action here because they're going to go for it on 4th down.
And here's Lewis. He's going to toss late. Fumble recovered by Notre Dame. Jameer Jones gets a fumble recovery. And the Irish take possession. 6:21, up by 22. Navy's first turnover.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down.
And so the Irish possess it. 6 minutes and 21. The defense gets a takeaway, closing in on 8-0.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Michael Sincheski wanted to take a look at that, a replay official, to see if it was potentially a forward pass, but stands.
I know why that they were looking at this. From this angle, it looks like it was a lateral and a pitch there, but from the upper angle, there was a little bit of question there. Clearly, because it stands, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn this, but from that angle, to me, that looks like a forward pass.
Too close to pick up the decision on the field.
So
too
it's
close,
it's disputable.
Ruling on the field stands, right? They didn't confirm it. They just said we're not changing it.
So now, I mean, Notre Dame in a 22-point game with plus 6 minutes. I mean, that fumble all but seals it for Navy. Timeout by the Mids. First of 3 for Ken Niumatalolo. For Miles Boykin for Notre Dame, the night did not start great. First play from scrimmage, fumble.
Put the ball in his wrong arm and got it stripped, and obviously went immediately to the doghouse.
And then came back out of the doghouse.
And then he did come back and started to rebound, and that's what champions do. You got to find a way to make plays. Beautifully placed back shoulder football there. And Miles Boykin, after a rough start, really showing up here late in the last 3 games.
I mean, he has been explosive with Ian Book at quarterback.
I was going to say, it's not an accident that those numbers have gone up since Book became the quarterback.
It's now 9 touchdowns in his career, 7 of them on passes from Ian Book. And Dexter Williams running, and Notre Dame trying to run the football, run the clock, force Navy into using those timeouts.
I would think so. Now, this is an up-tempo team. Chip Long likes to get up to the line of scrimmage and go, and so it's a little counter to their philosophy when they want to slow the thing down. But given where they are, given what lies ahead, in particular next week against Northwestern, I would think they'd want to get out of here as fast as they can, onto the plane and onto the Wildcats.
And there's something to that. If you're a tempo team and you slow things down, it can take you out of your rhythm.
3rd and 1, Williams, Polu, and real close anyway. I think maybe the second effort, Polu got him behind the line, but Williams fights, and it's going to be close again. Navy uses its second timeout. Fourth and inches, the chains to measure and make it official. So AT, 4th and inches when you're up by 22.
I think you want to get out of here and end this ball game. I would give it to the offensive line and let them get that, but it looks like Brian Kelly's going to elect to be a little bit conservative here. You understand that, but as an offensive lineman, I'm a little bit offended. I want to be able to win this game and control the line of scrimmage and get those inches and have that opportunity to do that.
It's an interesting decision. They've been able to control the line of scrimmage all night long, but you're up 3 scores. We know that Navy's not a quick strike offense. The safer play is to do exactly as they're doing, which is to punt the football.
It is a safe play, but again, as an offensive lineman, I take a
You know what? I would be offended if you weren't offended.
Just the second punt by Notre Dame. Newsom boots it away. Springer will let it trickle out of bounds near the 15-yard line. Monday on CBS, Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield lead an all-star cast in the outrageous new comedy, The Neighborhood. New episode Monday, 8, 7 Central, only CBS. The Navy did use 2 timeouts there, so Notre Dame, by running the football, leaves Navy with just 1 more chance to stop the clock. And the midshipmen, who were not built for a huge comeback, 5:26 and 22.
I'm anxious to see not only how Navy finishes tonight, but how Navy finishes this season. This is such a proud program. It's been, the hallmark of Academy football for so long. Kenny Niumatalolo has turned down other opportunities to stay there. I think they're going to find a way to get their compass going in the right direction, and I think we're going to be treated to some terrific Navy football. They've got a tough schedule going down the stretch in the American Conference, Aaron. I
mean, going back to last week, starting with Houston, Notre Dame tonight, and then Cincinnati, an undefeated UCF team. Then they got Army on December 8th. With that classic matchup, it's not going to get any easier for the midshipmen.
Perry second and 8. Slips through the tacklers. And Coney finally finishes it off on Perry. And again, with Air Force's win over Army. If Air Force beats Army, that's CBS Sports Network next week, then Air Force takes the Commander-in-Chief outright.
I mean, Navy has to win 4 of their next 6 to even be bowl eligible, and have to win 5 of their next 6 in order to salvage a winning season. This is a very rare opportunity and adversity for this team that's been bowl eligible 14 out of the last 15 years.
Which is why Kenny Niumatalolo is using his timeouts here. He wants this team to find itself, and a drive that goes down the field to scores against Notre Dame, despite the fact it doesn't bring victory, gives them some confidence going forward.
This stretch for Navy, the toughest of anybody in the nation during this stretch. Perry gets the first down. I mean, they're going to fight you to the end no matter what. There's no question about that.
I played against Navy all 4 years that I was at Notre Dame, a couple times in the Meadowlands in New Jersey there. They give you everything they have. What they lack in size and maybe athleticism, they more than make up for their execution and their heart.
There's Ivan Jasper, offensive coordinator, 19th season at Navy. Lewis is going to drop. Lewis is chased, and Lewis loses it. It is incomplete. And mentioned earlier with Jaron Jasper, and happy to tell you he was doing very well following a successful heart transplant, enjoying all the things a sophomore in high school enjoys. Had a checkup recently, and all signs are good for Jaron Jasper, and that is just...
Prayers answered, right?
It is. That's exactly right. From a lot of people all around the nation, all around the world. When you're talking about the United States Naval Academy, the influence spreads in every direction.
I'm in the studio in New York for that game. What a thrill to cover the Army-Navy game on an annual basis.
Martin gets the carry here. You got third down coming up from Navy. Well, you heard that report earlier from John, and what Josh Webb told us earlier this week. He said, we want to show those in the Navy who show up now, active duty, the kind of people we are, the kind of people who are coming into the fleet. And I mean, it's on display right now because I mean, you're down 44-22, and there will never be a Navy team that gives any inch in a football game.
No, and it's just emblematic of who they are and what they've signed up for. Everybody that's on this field tonight for the Naval Academy is committed to put their lives on the line to defend our country. Think they're going to mail it in at the end of a ball game regardless of the score? That's just not in their DNA.
That's not in their DNA, is right.
And here you go. Go for it on 4th and 7. Lewis, toss. Here's Perry on the edge. Good blocking, and Perry has a first down. So 4th and 7, less than 3 minutes to go. Perry converts.
I think there's a flip side to this great effort we're seeing for Navy, and that's that Notre Dame has not showed up here in the second half. They've allowed Navy back in this game, and when they've had opportunities, they haven't taken advantage of it. Brian Kelly's job to coach these guys up hard this next week's going to be made a heck of a lot easier with the way they played here in the second half.
Darren Lewis, 1st and 10, complete. That's complete again.
There'll be some cleanup on that Notre Dame side, there's no question, but did they get their 11 possessions? The answer is yes. Yeah. They were outstanding at the point of contact in the first half of this game, giving the Irish the opportunity to get that 27-0 lead. Has it been a little sloppy in the second half? Yes, and they'll get that attended to as soon as they get back. But all attention next week on that Northwestern team.
They got a good front seven, a couple great defensive ends, a good matchup.
Lewis hit as he throws, deep shot, incomplete, no flags. Okora lays the lick on Garrett Lewis.
This offense has been explosive, man. Just with the way Ian Book has kind of come in, the rising tide of him raising all the levels of the players around him.
So you wanted to play quarterback, huh?
There's Julian Aguara, man, that we've seen him do that. These last 3 or 4 games really starting to come on and taking over that position that Dalen Hayes kind of had locked down. Old 42 was asserted himself and really taken over there.
Lewis, senior from Buell, Alabama, uncorks it, little double move, and it's incomplete. They had him, and it was Ryan Mitchell. No relation to Pete.
There's not enough mustard on that football, coming up a little bit short, Rick.
Asking Kenny Niumatalolo about what are some of the advantages and disadvantages to being at the academy. They're on a different recruiting schedule, right, and so forth. He says, well, I stopped asking for the things that were a disadvantage. You know, we can't get the kind of lunch that we think that we need in terms of the amount of food because the schedule's so rigid going to class. 35 minutes is all they get with their coaches in terms of meetings before practice. But he says it's such a blessing to be here and be around these young people who give so much. I don't worry about the stuff that I can't control.
Lewis on the roll, finds Perry again, who's having a huge second half.
It's unbelievable what the young men at the academy are asked to do in the course load. They literally 18 hours per day with classes I can't even pronounce, let alone have any chance of being able to pass. And they do it on a routine basis and still find time to play pretty dang good football.
Now, meanwhile, for Notre Dame, as Lewis drops on 1st and 10, he's going to take the end zone shot, and it is intercepted. To seal it for the Irish, Jalen Elliott brings it out, and Elliott goes down at the 23. So Navy looking for the end zone, and instead Jalen Elliott. Earlier in the drive, he had the 15-yard penalty, Mr. Elliott did, and now he closes it out with his 3rd pick of his junior year.
Just a kind of a jump ball here. A couple of guys going for posts, and Jalen Elliott ends up with the 3 flies up catch. Has some designs to take this all the way. Right there, it feels like there's all kinds of areas. He says, what am I doing? We got Northwestern this week. Let me get down.
Get on the ground. I dominated in 3 flies up, by the way, when I was a kid, Rick. I was always the tallest kid in the class, and I had some sneaky soft hands for a big dude.
I saw those pictures of you. There's no question of your athletic exploits.
1 timeout left for Navy, but the Irish can take a knee if they want. It's a handoff, Jones. So running it, there's a flag down. But this is the scenario where you can take a knee.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
See that temper. Brian Kelly not happy. The illegal formation, but as we take a look off the playoff schedule this season, December 2nd is the final playoff selection. We're going to see their first selection this upcoming Tuesday.
Right.
December 29th, the semifinals, the Cotton and the Orange Bowl, and January 7th, the national championship, Levi Stadium.
You mentioned at the top of the show, could Notre Dame be back to California 2 more times?
Got USC to close out the regular season, and now they will, in fact, take a knee. So we'll see if Navy wants to stop it one more time. But your first California trip to San Diego, that's a success. Got USC, and then the Irish hoping to make that trip for the national championship. So you guys are going together on this?
This is what I picked will be the committee's top
first,
4
yeah, on Tuesday.
This week.
Okay. This is a snapshot of right now. I agree.
Yeah.
This is not what we're predicting is going to happen in the final.
And I would say Georgia will be sitting there right there in the 5 hole.
And again, Texas trailing at Oklahoma State. That's a boost for the Irish.
Be careful of Oklahoma.
Book will take a knee on 3rd and 8. And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Boykin, after the fumble on the first play from scrimmage, comes back with 2 second-half touchdowns. Book to Boykin to lead the Irish to 8-0.
It's a little bit of payback because he caught that touchdown on Jared Ryan, one of the players that was involved in his first play from scrimmage fumble.
The relationship, Book to Boykin, is going to be one of the springboards if they are to make it to the college football playoff and then do some damage within it. That's going to be really important.
Now 16 seconds left. Notre Dame will be 8-0. .44 on the board for Notre Dame. This is officially a Navy home game, even though we're in San Diego. So the last 3 road games for Notre Dame combined 145 points. That's at Wake Forest, at Virginia Tech with a huge second half, and now in San Diego, but at Navy. 145 in 3 road games.
Aaron told me there's no such thing as a road game for Notre Dame. Everybody loves Notre Dame wherever they go.
Look at all the green. The Irish travel well.
Like a rock band.
But hey, if you want to win on the road, you got to be able to run the football and play defense. A lot of good happened tonight for the Irish, and there's some correctable things. Coach Kelly certainly is going to have some things to fix on all phases of this squad, but this is what you want to do. This is a win that's not an easy one. You come on the road, and this is going to be a tough haul down the stretch for the Irish, but they got it done tonight.
In the books now, 8-0, 44-22. The first trip to the Golden State successful for Brian Kelly and Notre Dame. 8-0 for the first time since they played in the title game in 2012, and the 92nd consecutive meeting between Notre Dame and Navy is in the books in favor of the Fighting Irish. It was the 3 touchdown runs in the first half from Dexter Williams and the 2 touchdown grabs in the second half from Miles Boykin that carried the day. So we are staying for both alma maters, Notre Dame, our mother, and Navy blue and gold.
How about an incredible day running the football by Notre Dame, 254 yards on the ground, narrowly getting outrushed by Navy, who only had 292. So Notre Dame defensively keeping Navy underneath its rushing average. Nice job all in all by the Irish. And how about Ian Book?
Ian Book has been unbelievable since taking over as the starting quarterback. 27 for 33 today, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know he wants that interception back. A week ago, he was 26 for 32. He's a 70%, now closer to 75% passer. You can do a lot of things as a play caller when you trust that quarterback as much as you can trust Ian Book right now.
And for Navy, it is a 5-game losing streak. But per tradition, Fighting Irish and the midshipmen will gather in front of the brigade of midshipmen with a wonderful round of applause from all those of the 63,000 plus sellout crowd who await. And now together they'll head to the other side of the field. And Aaron Taylor will lead us in singing Notre Dame, Our Mother.
I'll spare the viewers and listeners at home.
When the midshipmen take on Tulsa, Saturday, November 17th at 3:30 p.m.
Wild animals
Game presented by First Command
the zoo, the Wild Animal Park, wildebeests.
Angel, but an angel nonetheless.
U.S. or Navy, or visit NavySports.com for more information.
This is an a cappella rendition tonight of Notre Dame, Our Mother.
One of my fondest memories is the arm in arm after games, celebrating the wins, being with your guys. These are the moments we remember.
Irish are 8-0 for the first time since 2012. A 44-22 win over Navy. Midshipmen fall to 2-6 on the year. So for Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor, John Schriffen, producer Scott Brandwine, director Mark Grant, and our talented crew, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from San Diego. You've been watching the Home Depot College Football on CBS.